On the DJV program at 59 past the hour.
Hi, I'm Vivica Fox. For more than 100 years, American Humane has been helping our best friends in their worst times, during hurricanes, tornadoes, and increasingly, wildfires. They're real heroes to these animals. But Mother Nature isn't the only danger that animals face. Sometimes it's human nature that's the greatest threat. Each year, more than 6 million beautiful adoptable animals are being abandoned, and more than 1 million are euthanized before they can be rescued. These animals need heroes too. Heroes to open up their hearts and homes and to give them the love they deserve. Be a hero to an animal in need. Consider becoming an American Humane Rescue Volunteer or adopt from your local shelter. Visit AmericanHumane.org to find out how you can be a hero and help our best friends in their worst times.
News Talk 1560 AM, 94.1 FM, KTUI, Sullivan. It's 6 o'clock. Good morning. This is KTUI Radio, beginning a new day of broadcasting. KTUI is owned and operated by Merrimack Area Broadcasting, LLC of Sullivan, Missouri. Broadcast facilities are located at 900 Elmont Road in Sullivan. KTUI is authorized by the Federal Communications Commission to operate on an assigned frequency of 1560 kilohertz on the AM band and K231CP, an FM translator frequency of 94.1 megahertz. The assigned power for KTUI AM is 1,000 watts, and the power for the FM translator is 250 watts. We invite you to tune in daily to AM 1560 or 94.1 FM for the latest news, weather, and information. And now, the U.S. Navy Band with our national anthem.
This is By the Way. The Bible has many accounts of women who were important in God's plan for people. In both the Old and New Testaments, women play important roles. Today on many Christian church calendars is a day to remember Mary Magdalene, who may be more prominent in the New Testament than any other woman except, of course, Mary, the mother of Jesus. Mary Magdalene was among the first to announce to others that Jesus had risen from the dead and was among the first to see the risen Christ. She is known as one of the very faithful followers. Today would be a good day to thank God for all the women and men who have been faithful followers of Jesus through the centuries, and to pray that many would follow in their train. This is By the Way.
Good morning to you. It is 3 minutes past the hour, 6 o'clock, and it looks like we're at about 68 degrees here this morning. Glad to have you here with me this morning. You know, most of you probably, if you've been paying attention, know that I had my summer cold, and so I was letting Bobby do most of the work around here, recording the news and things like that. And yesterday, Bobby went over to the hospital. They said I guess he's having gallbladder surgery today. So our thoughts and prayers are with Bobby this morning.
So let's see. Let's find out what's going on here with the weather forecast.
From the KTUI WeatherBug Weather Center for this morning, expecting mostly clear skies, mostly sunny this afternoon, warm with a high near 90. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 66. Friday, sunny and warm, a high of 91. Friday night, mostly clear, a low of 71. Saturday, sunny and warm, a high of 93. Saturday night, mostly clear, a low of 73. On Sunday, sunny and warm, a high of 94. And Sunday night, partly cloudy, a low of 72. For KTUI, I'm Andrew Brady.
Thank you, Andrew. And it is, as I told you, 68 degrees here at the studios of KTUI. And Joe Lee has a birthday today. Coming up at 9:10 this morning, I'm going to talk, I believe, with Kelsey Bentledge. She's with the St. Louis District Dairy Council. And somewhere here I have my historical weather stuff here. Then I think we're going to have a repeat of, it's going to be live on tape, I think, from the White Mule Winery today. Today, sunrise at 5:59, so just before we signed on this morning, and then sunset at 8:23. That gives us a day length today of 14 hours and 25 minutes, which is a minute less than we had yesterday. And on the 22nd day of July in 2017, we had our record high of 108 degrees for this day. 1996, the low high on this day was 74 degrees. In 1970, the record low was 55. And in 2017, so we set our high and our high low in 2017, and the high low was 85 degrees. All right, today is Hammock Day, Lion's Share Day, Mango Day, National Penuche Fudge Day. I don't know what that is. National Rat Catchers Day. It's National Refreshment Day, Pi Approximation Day. The mathematical pi, not the, apple pie like I like. Let's see, this is Spoonerism Day and Summer Leisure Day. And let's see, I guess this is National Triathlon Week and National Moth Week. All right, we are coming up on 7 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. It is 68 degrees here at the studios of KTUI. Lots of news and information coming your way this morning. And we're going to start things off with news from the USA Radio Network.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
House Republicans walked away from the House committee that's investigating January 6th. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi vetoed 2 of the 5 Republicans House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy had tapped for the panel.
Pelosi has broken this institution, denying the voice of members who have served in the military.
Wyoming's Liz Cheney, the only Republican on the panel, agreed with Pelosi's decision. Oregon forest officials reported Wednesday the destructive Oregon bootleg fire that ranks as the largest among dozens raging across the western United States was ignited by lightning, but smoldered for days before it was detected. Strike teams are taking advantage of calmer winds, cooler temperatures, and slightly higher humidity over the past 2 days to extend containment lines around the fire. The Tokyo Olympic Organizing Committee has fired the director of the opening ceremony on Thursday because of a Holocaust joke he made during a comedy show in 1998. This is USA Radio News.
If cancel culture and censorship continue at their current pace, there will soon be nothing left of the truth. The Epoch Times was founded to keep truth alive. We ask the questions we think you'd ask. We check facts without regards to any political agenda. No one tells us what to cover or how to cover it. We're not influenced by big corporations or political parties. Our great passion is to expose the spread of socialism and communism. We cover the Chinese Communist Party and how it works to subvert American education and politics. We cover big issues like election integrity, the exploding national debt, the fight against coronavirus, and the truth about its origins. We cover Democrats and Republicans in exactly the same way. We have a special trial subscription offer right now. 1 month of our printed paper and total access to our amazing online content for just $1. You'll find it at trustednewspaper.com. 1 month, $1. Trustednewspaper.com. Help the Epoch Times keep truth alive.
More athletes at the Tokyo Olympics test positive for COVID-19. Dan Naraki from the Ohio USA Radio News Bureau reports.
As competition gets underway at the Tokyo Olympics, there have been a rising number of positive COVID tests. Since July 1st, 75 people connected to the games have tested positive, with several athletes having their Olympic experience ended by the virus. The most recent American beach volleyball player Taylor Crabb being forced out of the competition by a positive test. Cases in Tokyo have hit a 6-month high, and the entire city is under a state of emergency until after the games. From the USA Radio News Ohio Bureau, I'm Dan Naraki.
With an Afghanistan withdrawal update, Tim Berg has more.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says the final withdrawal of U.S. forces from Afghanistan is on track for completion by the end of next month.
The president has made a decision that we're going to get it done, and we're going to get it done right.
Austin adding that your tax dollars will continue to support Afghan security forces.
Thanks for listening. We are USA Radio News.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, and I want to tell you that arthritis is not a genetic thing. It's not a disease of aging. Neither is osteoporosis. Get a hold of my book. It's all in your head. It goes into the 25 different diseases you get when you have osteoporosis of the skull. These are all reversible. You take the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, the MSM, vitamin D3, stay away from all the bad foods, including gluten, and guess what? You'll regrow all your bones, including your skull and your legs and your hips and everything else. Contact us at usaradiohealth.com. That's usaradiohealth.com.
What's being described as a super spreader event, Texas House Democrats have left a trail of COVID-19 infections since leaving the state. Let's get an update with Tim Berg from the Phoenix USA Radio News Bureau.
At least 6 Texas Democratic lawmakers that have fled the state to block an election reform bill have tested positive for coronavirus. Texas Republican Congressman Ronnie Jackson calls for those lawmakers to return to Texas.
When their 10 days of quarantine are over and they get released from their hotel rooms in Washington, D.C., they need to go immediately back to the state of Texas, and they need to fulfill their duties to the constituents there. They were voted and elected to represent the constituents of Texas, and they have completely gaffed off that duty, and it's time for them to do their jobs.
Those Texas Democratic lawmakers met with Senate Majority Leader and New York Democrat Senator Chuck Schumer, West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, and Vice President Kamala Harris. Spokespersons for each say they aren't quarantining.
Russia launched a long-delayed module for its segment of the International Space Station Wednesday. Reports are coming in it suffered technical problems after reaching orbit. Both Roscosmos and NASA said the module prematurely deployed its solar arrays and navigational antennas shortly after separating from the rocket. Neither agency has provided additional updates on the status. The module, 13 meters long and weighing more than 23,000 kilograms at launch, includes crew accommodations, attitude control systems for the station, research facilities, and cargo stowage. I'm Lance Pry. This is USA Radio News.
The OBGYN you choose matters. They will be by your side to guide you through the important stages of life, from puberty to childbirth to menopause and everything in between. Choose healthcare you can trust from the experts at BJC Medical Group, located right here in your community at Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital. Visit MissouriBaptistSullivan.org to schedule your appointment with one of our board-certified OBGYNs. Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital, your best medicine close to home.
This moment in history brings with it the chance to advance yourself while protecting our community. At BJC, you'll belong to a world-class healthcare system that offers tuition reimbursement available your first day, schedule flexibility, and 30,000 remarkable colleagues. You'll feel the unity and opportunity and find strength within. Apply now at bjcopportunity.org. Sign-on bonuses available.
I'm Bill Wise. The state will be awarding prizes up to $10,000 for people who get COVID-19 shots. It's all part of a new incentive plan to increase the number of vaccinated Missourians. Governor Mike Parson says people who are eligible are divided into red, white, and blue categories.
The red category includes Missourians age 18 and up who receive at least one dose after July the 21st. The white category includes Missourians age 18 and up who have received at least one dose before July the 21st. And the blue category includes Missourians ages 12 to 17 receiving time.
The governor says county health departments will offer awards as well. Missouri's COVID-19 increase is driven by the Delta variant, which is prevalent in infecting the unvaccinated. Cole County workers in mid-Missouri will not be going door to door to help boost the county's coronavirus vaccination rate. As Missouri's coronavirus case count continues to soar, many county commissioners say they oppose the idea, including presiding Commissioner Sam Bushman.
I don't think that having somebody come knock on your door and give you a pamphlet is going to make you decide you're going to go get vaccinated. To me, I am not in favor of sending people knocking on doors. We've got 35,000 households.
A Missouri lawmaker who chairs the House Subcommittee on Federal Stimulus Spending says there is bipartisan support for a special session on the state IT overhaul issue. Excelsior Springs State Representative Doug Ritchie wants the governor to call a September special session.
And I really do believe if there's anything that can be identified as a non-controversial, expansive benefit to our state, it would be this.
The State Office of Administration has testified that it will cost $83 million to overhaul the state's IT system, and full implementation could take 4 to 5 years. You're listening to news on Missouri Net.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, college scholarships for the children of law enforcement, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on the USDSA and how you can help, visit usdeputy.org.
Eating, working, living pain-free. These are a few of the things many of us take for granted. Yet, for many United States military veterans, finding and affording oral health care is a challenge many of us don't think about. Dental Lifeline Network is looking for dentists who can change this. DLN is asking dentists and their teams to volunteer to see one veteran with special needs one time per year. Visit willyouseeonevet.org to learn more. That's willyouseeonevet.org.
You're listening to news on Missouri Net. With a time of 36 hours and 20 minutes, the 3-person boating team of Mackay Death Ride has won the MR 340 boat race across Missouri on the Missouri River. That boat pulled into St. Charles last night at 8:20 p.m. after starting the race on Tuesday morning. The boat's average speed, 9.3 miles per hour for the race. Dustin LeCave had the winning solo time of 39 hours and 47 minutes. Legislation that creates Missouri's first state park that honors the heritage of freed slaves has been signed into law by the governor. The bill from Windsor State Representative Roger Reedy authorizes the State Department of Natural Resources to acquire the Antioch Cemetery in west central Missouri's Clinton as a state park.
I think the next step will be for the DNR and the existing cemetery board there of the Antioch Cemetery to get together and to talk about how they could proceed here in the future.
More news online at MissouriNet.com. This is news on Missouri Net.
Do you long for the days when you were part of a club with fun events, lasting friendships, and breathtaking adventures? Your club still exists. It's here in Sullivan at First State Community Bank. Our Horizons Club checking account goes beyond your everyday banking needs. In addition to account benefits like ID Protect and discount on safe deposit boxes, members also get access to local events and travel opportunities. Come see me, Paula Lang, at your local First State Community Bank to learn how you can join the Horizons Club today.
FSCB is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
A 17-year-old was shot in the chest and injured near St. Louis Carr Square neighborhood last night. Police say they were alerted of a shooting when the victim showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound to the upper chest. The incident report from police said the victim had stable vitals while receiving treatment, but also lost consciousness and was barely breathing. Officers discovered that the shooting happened near the intersection of Cass Avenue and 20th Street at around 7 p.m. The shooting was picked up by ShotSpotter technology in the area. Police did not say what led up to the shooting. The investigation is ongoing. A man was wounded during an early morning shooting yesterday. The shooting happened at 7:15 a.m. near North Grand and Emily Street in the College Hill neighborhood. According to police, a man was boarding a Metro bus. He got caught in a crossfire between two vehicles. The man was shot in the stomach, was taken to a hospital. He was conscious and breathing. No additional information has been released. Emergency crews rescued a man after he dived into the Big River last night at Rockford Beach. The incident happened shortly before 7:15 p.m., according to the High Ridge Fire District. The man was transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The Missouri State Highway Patrol reported an accident in Franklin County at 5 o'clock yesterday morning on eastbound Highway T east of Powell's Point Road. A 2000 Yamaha V-Star motorcycle ridden by 40-year-old Derek M. Lawful of Labadie attempted to avoid a deer in the roadway. He caused the motorcycle to skid and overturn. 40-year-old Derek Lawful of Labadie had minor injuries. He was transported to Mercy Hospital in St. Louis by Merrimack Ambulance District. At 1:44 this morning in Franklin County, 40-year-old David L. Bell of St. Clair was arrested on Jefferson County warrant for failure to appear for passing a bad check. He was taken to the Franklin County Jail and was bondable. The Highway Patrol made an arrest in Washington County at 12:19 this morning. 25-year-old Robert C. Akers of Bellevue was arrested for a patrol charge of driving while intoxicated. He was taken to the Washington County Sheriff's Office in Potosi for a 12-hour hold. At 8:29 last night in Franklin County, 29-year-old Devin N. Strange of St. Clair was arrested on patrol charges of possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, 1 gram, Franklin County warrant for failure to appear 4 times, and she was taken to the Franklin County Jail and was bondable. At 8:21 p.m. yesterday in Phelps County, 50-year-old Tiffany A. Scott of St. Louis was arrested for felony DWI, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, failure to properly affix plates, possession of plates of another, no insurance, driving while revoked. She was taken to the Dent County Jail for a 12-hour hold. At 1:44 a.m. yesterday in Franklin County, for workers at GM's Wentzville Assembly Plant in St. Charles County, masks are now mandatory across all shifts. In an effort to stay a step ahead of the virus, UAW Local 2250 has encouraged members to get vaccinated. While it's unclear how many people inside the Wentzville facility have been vaccinated, 48% of people in St. Charles County have had the vaccine. With the spread of the Delta variant across Missouri, both the UAW and GM wanted to make sure everyone stayed safe with a mandatory mask mandate. The Sullivan City Council passed a resolution Tuesday night to allow utility vehicles and recreational off-highway vehicles on city streets. All-terrain vehicles and golf carts are not allowed on city streets. For utility vehicles, the operator will need a valid operator's or chauffeur's license, and the vehicle shall be operated at speeds of less than 40 miles per hour. You need to maintain proof of financial responsibility in accordance with the resolutions of the state of Missouri, or maintain any other insurance policy providing equivalent liability coverage for a utility vehicle. You need to comply with all state laws. No person shall operate a utility vehicle in any careless way so as to endanger the person or property of another, or while under the influence of alcohol or any controlled substance. Recreational off-highway vehicles, or OHVs, are defined as any motorized vehicle manufactured and used exclusively for off-road use, which is more than 50 inches but no more than 80 inches in width, measured from outside of the tire rim to the outside of the other tire rim. You need to have a valid operator's or chauffeur's license, maintain proof of financial responsibility, must display a lighted headlamp and lighted tail lamp. You have to wear a seat belt. You need to have it equipped with a roll bar or roll cage and comply with all state laws. Motorized bicycles are defined as any 2- or 3-wheeled device having an automatic transmission and a motor with a cylinder capacity of not more than 50 cubic centimeters. It produces less than 3 gross brake horsepower and capable of propelling the device at a maximum speed of not more than 30 miles per hour on level ground. No person shall operate a motorized bicycle on any highway, streets, or roads in the city unless the person has a valid license to operate a motor vehicle. No motorized bicycle may be operated on any public thoroughfare located within the city that has been designated as part of the federal interstate highway system, and every person riding a bicycle or motorized bicycle upon a street or highway shall be granted all the rights and shall be subject to all the duties applicable to the driver of a vehicle as provided by the resolutions of the state of Missouri. The American Red Cross continues to experience a severe blood shortage, and donors of all blood types, especially type O, and those giving platelets, are urged to make an appointment to give now. There is a blood drive in Sullivan from 3 until 7 p.m. on Monday at St. Matthew Lutheran Church on Church Street in Sullivan. That is a look at your local news on a Thursday. I'm Sam Scott.
Keep moving ahead with Goodyear at Joe's Tire Company and Bourbon Tire and Lube. Get up to $75 back by online or mail-in rebate on a select set of 4 Goodyear tires, like the Assurance Weather Ready or the Wrangler All-Terrain Adventure. Plus, get up to another $75 more when you use your Goodyear credit card. That's up to $150 in savings waiting for you whenever you're ready to get out and get moving. The Goodyear credit card is subject to credit approval. Stop by Joe's Tire Company in Owensville or Bourbon Tire and Lube in Bourbon.
In recent funeral notices, Marie Cox, née Bailey of St. Clair, passed away Saturday at the age of 98. Funeral services will be held at 10 o'clock this morning at Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Burial will be in the Anaconda Cemetery. Visitation will be after 9 o'clock this morning until the time of services at 10 at Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Memorials may be made to the Alzheimer's Association or American Diabetes Association in the name of Marie Cox. Walter Warrand of Owensville passed away Thursday at the age of 85. A memorial service will be held at 11 o'clock this morning at Zion Lutheran Church in Owensville. Cremains will be interred at St. John's Lutheran Cemetery at Charlotte with full military honors. Visitation will be held from 10 o'clock until the time of services at 11 at Zion Lutheran Church in Owensville this morning. Allie Lee Klepper, née Hendricks of St. Clair, passed away Sunday at the age of 84. Funeral services will be held Friday at 11 a.m. at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Burial will be in the Midlawn Memorial Gardens in Union. Visitation for Allie will be from 10 until 11 a.m. on Friday at Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Memorials may be made to the family of Allie Lee Klepper. Judith K. Jones, née Crump of Edgar Springs, passed away Tuesday at the age of 81. Graveside services will be held Friday at 11 a.m. at the Missouri Veterans Cemetery at Fort Leonard Wood. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be given to the Salvation Army in the name of Judith Jones. All arrangements are under the direction of the Hudson Funeral Home of Cuba. Janet Marie Eckert, née Ransom of Steelville, passed away Wednesday at the age of 65. Visitation will be from 5 until 6 p.m. on Friday at Hudson Funeral Home in Steelville. Funeral service will immediately follow at 6. The family has chosen cremation as the final disposition. Memorials are suggested to the American Cancer Society in the name of Janet Eckert. Robert Bob Weimer of Sullivan passed away Saturday at the Missouri Veterans Home in St. James at the age of 90. Funeral services will be Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Eaton Funeral Home in Sullivan. Bob will be buried in the Koch Family Cemetery. Visitation will be from 4 until 8 p.m. on Friday at the Eaton Funeral Home in Sullivan. Memorial contributions in Bob's memory may be made to the Outreach Ministry of Grace United Methodist Church in Sullivan. Ronald Kenneth Smith of Cook Station passed away Friday at the age of 81. Visitation will be held from 1 until 2 p.m. on Saturday at First Presbyterian Church in Cuba. Celebration of life service will immediately follow at 2 p.m. Interment will be in the Carr Cemetery in Cook Station at a later date. In lieu of flowers, memorials are suggested to either St. Jude Children's Research Hospital or Shriners Hospital for Children in St. Louis in the name of Ronald Smith. Earl LaRon Vernat of St. Clair passed away Sunday at the age of 72. Committal services will be held at 10 a.m. on Wednesday at Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery in St. Louis. The family of Earl Vernat being served by the Russell Colonial Funeral Home of St. Clair. The complete funeral announcements with all the survivors will air with our 8 o'clock expanded edition of KTUI News this morning.
As a trauma-informed provider, Compass Health Network is equipped to assist you or a loved one struggling with trauma, anxiety, depression, substance use disorder, or other behavioral health conditions. Our providers understand that everyone's life experiences are different and will work with you in person or virtually to develop the most effective plan of care. You are not alone. Call Compass Health Network today at 844-853-8937 or visit compasshealthnetwork.org for more information.
From the KTUI WeatherBug Weather Center for this morning, expecting mostly clear skies, mostly sunny this afternoon, warm with a high near 90. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 66. Friday, sunny and warm, a high of 91. Friday night, mostly clear, a low of 71. Saturday, sunny and warm, a high of 93. Saturday night, mostly clear, a low of 73. On Sunday, sunny and warm, a high of 94. And Sunday night, partly cloudy, a low of 72. For KTUI, I'm Andrew Brady.
Thank you, Andrew. It's about 28 past 6 o'clock. And Joe Lee has a birthday today. That's the only one that I have. If you have a birthday you'd like to get on here, or an anniversary or something like that, you can give me a call here, 468-5101, or you can text it to me, 573-677-1001. Email me at news@ktui.com. All right, coming up at 9:10 this morning, going to be talking with Kelsey Bentledge from St. Louis Dairy Council. And then at 10:05, recorded live from the White Mule Winery. 29 past 6 o'clock. It is 68 degrees here at the studios of KTUI. And we've got some sports coming your way right after you hear this.
What do you do when water doesn't flow? Low pressure, clicking sounds from the pressure tank, pump runs constantly? You contact Schrepfer Well Drilling, your water pro. Their knowledgeable staff is ready to handle whatever water issue you're experiencing. Schrepfer Well Drilling also handles a full line of water treatment equipment. Hard water, red water, sulfur, it can all be treated. Family owned and operated since 1953. They can repair your pump system and improve your water quality. Your family owned water company, Schrepfer Well Drilling.
Missouri Net Sports, I'm Bill Pollock. The Royals completed the season sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers with a 6-3 win. Nicky Lopez broke a 3-3 tie in the top of the sixth with a 2-run double, and Brad Keller picked up his first win since early June. Royals are off today. They'll be home to take on the Detroit Tigers tomorrow night.
John, this ball club has really been something to come back from that loss last night.
Well, the way the Cardinals played last night with Adam Wainwright pitching 7 strong innings didn't figure in the decision, but he set the table from the starting standpoint. Harrison Bader had 3 big hits, doubled in a tying run. Dylan Carlson doubled in a go-ahead run. And even though the Cubs were able to take advantage of a hit by pitch and get a run in the 9th inning to tie the game, they couldn't score in the 10th because Edmundo Sosa, with runners at first and third, made a heads-up play, kicking second to start a double play, taking in a ground ball, then throwing to Yadier Molina to start a rundown, tagging Rizzo out at third. The Cubs didn't score. Then Yadier Molina drove in the winning run in the bottom of the 10th, beating Craig Kimbrough.
The pitching and the defense has been something. A great play by the Cardinal third baseman in the ball game. A heck of a play by the Cardinal center fielder to rob a Cub of a home run. And we're on the air tonight at 5:20 with the pregame show.
Blues defenseman Vince Dunn picked up by the Seattle Kraken in the NHL expansion draft last night. Dunn was a second-round pick of the Blues in 2015 and set career highs in goals and assists during the Blues Stanley Cup run. Mizzou's Tyler Beatty named to the Doak Walker Award watch list for best running back in college football. Bill Pollock, Missouri Net Sports.
I really like the look of this year's Cardinals team, but there's another lineup that has never let me down. It's the lineup of stories that Cardinals Magazine delivers every single issue. If you want to get the most out of following the Cardinals, Cardinals Magazine brings it with the perfect mix of inside information and personal player stories. Start a subscription at cardinals.com/magazine or call 314-345-9000. Cardinals Magazine, it's all here.
We know that everyone's checking account needs are not the same. Hello, this is Lisa Volkman with Sullivan Bank. At Sullivan Bank, we offer a wide variety of checking accounts. You can choose from cash back on purchases, higher interest accounts, or accounts that have no service fees. At Sullivan Bank, we have one that is sure to fit your individual checking needs. Let us help you choose the account that is best for you. Stop by or go online at sullivanbank.com to open an account today.
Another round of light direct cash cattle trade, and cash hogs closed sharply lower. Good morning. I'm Megan Grabner with your Brownfield Livestock Market Report. There's a light direct cash cattle trade that took place on Wednesday. Live deals in Kansas and Nebraska were at $119. Those are about $1 lower than last week's weighted averages. The North was relatively quiet. Asking prices held at $120 plus live in the South and $200 plus dressed in the North. At the Hub City Livestock Auction in South Dakota compared to last week, the best test on steers was 850 to 950 pounds. They were $2 to $4 higher. The best test on heifers was 650 to 700 pounds. They were steady to $2 lower. 900 to 950 pound heifers were mostly $1 higher. There was good to very good demand for the day's offering, which included several strings and mini loads and packages. Quality varied from plain to attractive, but overall slightly less attractive than last week. The drought conditions continue. Feeder supply included 54% heifers. Medium and large one feeder steers 862 to 897 pounds, bred 148.50 to 159.50. Medium and large one feeder heifers 657 to 693 pounds, bred 149.50 to 156.50. Feeder heifers 925 to 949 pounds, bred 129.50 to 142.20. Boxed beef close firm on moderate demand for moderate offerings. Choice up 36 cents at $265.24. Select was 19 cents higher at $248.77. Estimated cattle slaughter was 117,000 head, down 2,000 on the week and up 1,000 on the year. Cash hogs closed sharply lower with a moderate negotiated run. Processors continue to monitor the availability of market-ready bears and gilts. Strong demand for U.S. pork on the global market and domestically has been largely supportive to prices. The industry doesn't anticipate that changing anytime soon. Barrows and gilts at the National Daily Direct closed 306 lower with a weighted average of 106.78. The Iowa, Minnesota had a weighted average of 109.60, and the Western Corn Belt had a weighted average of 109.53. Pork values into the day higher, up $1.75 at 122.09. And estimated hog slaughter was 474,000 head, up 7,000 on the week and up 2,000 on the year. At the CME, live and feeder cattle were higher, supported by boxed beef prices and some weakness in corn. And lean hog futures ended the day mostly higher, supported by higher pork values during the session and long-term demand expectations. I'm Megan Grebner on Brownfield.
This spotlight on soybeans is brought to you by Missouri soybean growers and their checkoff. Missouri Soybean Research Director Greg Luce says there's going to be a field day August 12th at the Missouri Soybean Association's Bay Farm Research Facility.
We're going to talk about some of the crop management research projects that are done and funded by the Missouri Soybean Merchandising Council and the Soybean Farmers Checkoff. And we're also going to talk about conservation.
The day showcases demonstrations on cover crops, soyleic varieties, pollinators, and non-chemical weed control with a machine that crushes weed seeds and another called the Weed Zapper.
A machine that will actually electrocute the weeds. I think farmers will enjoy and appreciate seeing that, and an alternative way to control some problem weeds in soybeans.
The field day is August 12th. Learn more at mosoy.org. From Missouri soybean growers and their checkoff.
Seidenstricker Novi Partners, your John Deere compact tractor headquarters, is offering 0% financing on all 1 through 5 series tractors. Our 1023E Workhorse is starting as low as $184 a month with a mower and a loader. Have more land? Go bigger with our 3025E Homesteader starting at $218 a month. All tractors come with our S&P 10-year warranty and attachment options to suit your property's needs. Seidenstricker Novi, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 8/3/2021. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
The decision to cut down a tree isn't always an easy one. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. How much work is required to keep the tree alive and functioning in the landscape as you're living the country life?
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
Finally, an easier way to get commodity price updates. Successful Farming Live is an easy-to-use tool that you can use to search Chicago Board of Trade and local cash prices, all by using your voice. Just say, Alexa, enable Successful Farming Live. Visit agriculture.com/smart for more information. From corn to cattle, hogs to soy, getting commodity prices has never been easier. Just say, Alexa, enable Successful Farming Live. If you're looking for new ideas for what to do around your place in the country, register for the Living the Country Life newsletter. Once a week, you'll receive helpful tips in your inbox on a wide variety of seasonal and timely topics, along with so much more. Living the Country Life is for all those people who love to live in the country. Sign up for your free newsletter today by visiting livingthecountrylife.com.
The decision to take down a tree is easy when it's dead, but sometimes a tree that's still alive has overstepped its boundaries or become a nuisance, making that decision a bit harder. We had an ash tree that lost several huge branches during a storm. Combined with the threat of the emerald ash borer, we decided to put the poor thing out of its misery. John Fesh is an extension educator at the University of Nebraska. He says trees are planted for a specific purpose, such as shade, to frame a house, or break the wind. If the function and/or aesthetics have changed or it's become diseased, those are reasons to cut it down.
Additionally, one of the things I see as a reason to cut a tree down is the location. If it's kind of planted in a location where it doesn't have enough room for the roots to grow and the tree starts to die back as a result of it, you're probably not going to be able to create more space for the roots to grow. So you're in kind of a no-win situation in that regard.
When there is serious flooding, water erodes soil around the roots, making the tree's root plate unstable. Leaning trees are an imminent fall hazard and should be removed. Every state has regulations for tree maintenance. For example, branches can't be within a certain distance of power lines, and utility companies are required to cut them back.
Well, if they have to come every 2 or 3 years to cut that down, you're into a situation where eventually you're not going to be able to maintain it. Or if there is quite a bit of droppage of debris from the tree onto the patio or into the gutters, again, you have to really make that decision. But those are some of the things to consider. What is the maintenance and how much is required to keep the tree alive and functioning in the landscape?
Learn more about when you should cut down a tree at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com.
From the KTUI WeatherBug Weather Center, for this morning, expecting mostly clear skies, mostly sunny this afternoon, warm with a high near 90. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 66. Friday, sunny and warm, a high of 91. Friday night, mostly clear, a low of 71. Saturday, sunny and warm, a high of 93. Saturday night, mostly clear, a low of 73. On Sunday, sunny and warm, a high of 94. And Sunday night, partly cloudy, a low of 72. For KTUI, I'm Andrew Brady.
20 minutes before 7 o'clock, it's 68 degrees. Time to go out across our wide Missouri.
Across our wide Missouri with Bob Pretty. Listen to show archives, hear about this day in Missouri history, and learn more about the Show Me State by visiting MissouriNet.com today.
4 months earlier, the group had met to stand for compromise and reconciliation, but in the last 4 months, Missouri had gone from a state teetering on the edge of joining the Civil War to a state firmly in the middle of it. Now was the time for the Convention of '99 to act, taking steps to keep Missouri as stable as possible for the months ahead. The story of what they did in a minute.
This is a big deal. Now at healthcare.gov, millions more people can afford health coverage. Due to the COVID relief law, 4 out of 5 customers can get a plan for under $10 a month with financial help. From doctor visits to preventive services to prescription drugs, these are quality plans. You can do this. You can have coverage as soon as August 1st if you sign up now at healthcare.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Warm weather means swimming fun, but if you're in the water and feel electricity, like tingling on the skin or vibrating water, make sure you know what to do. If you feel a shock, swim away from the dock. Shout to let others know, and swim away from anything that could be energized. Go to shore if you can. Learn more by listening to our Power for Your Life podcast at membersfirst.coop or wherever you get your podcasts. This is a message from your Missouri Electric Cooperatives.
Early in 1861, the Convention of '99 had been elected to consider the subject of secession. The group named former Governor Sterling Price its president, and then it moved its meeting place to St. Louis. Some say it was because of pressures from strong pro-Union or pro-Southern advocates in Jefferson City, although others will say that certainly those pressures existed in St. Louis as well. It's been suggested the real reason was that Jefferson City just didn't have enough hotel rooms to handle 99 more people and those who came with them. The convention passed a resolution saying there was no adequate reason for secession. 4 months later, the Civil War had come to Missouri. Price now was a Confederate general, and Governor Claiborne Fox Jackson, along with 19 of the original 99 members, had fled the state. And so in July, the convention was called back to order by its vice chairman, Robert Wilson, and a subcommittee was set up to recommend emergency procedures. Obviously, a loyal government and a loyal citizenry had to be established to solidify Missouri's position in the Union. And so the subcommittee recommended the offices of governor, lieutenant governor, and secretary of state be declared vacant. The larger committee okayed the idea, naming provisional officers who could serve until the first Monday the next November. Hamilton Gamble of St. Louis became provisional governor. Willard Hall of St. Joseph, lieutenant governor. The provisional secretary of state was Mordecai Oliver from Greene County. W.S. Mosley of New Madrid stayed on as state auditor. 6 months later, artist George Caleb Bingham of Arrow Rock became the interim state treasurer. And in December of 1861, Aikman Welch became the provisional attorney general. Later, the committee named 2 new senators from Missouri, since both of the other men sent to Washington had been expelled for disloyalty. Governor Jackson was the popularly elected chief of the state, even though he had fled the state, claiming the federal government guilty of invading Missouri territory. But as Dwayne Meyer notes, in this time of war, legality is frequently supplanted by expediency, and in so acting, these Missouri politicians established an illegal provisional government to fill the breach left by the secessionist exiles. In retrospect, we must admit that the actions of the state convention were unprecedented, brash, and illegal. However, since federal troops in Missouri upheld the actions of the convention, nobody could argue. To help the state survive what in time would become a serious financial problem, the convention enacted a series of economic measures. Many state officers were removed from office, and those remaining took 20% salary cuts. And the convention adopted a loyalty oath to the federal government and the state governments. All civil officials had to take that oath within 40 days, or they would be removed from office. The convention adjourned after 9 days, having taken steps to keep Missouri loyal to the Union throughout the war. It was, if you wish, government by default, enforced by an invading force. The convention would meet 3 more times, the last time in June of 1863. Gamble would not survive the war. Legal government or not, it was a government that would help Missouri get through the war. It was a government established by the Convention of 99. The Convention of 99, chosen by the voters. To the surprise of the Confederate leaders, no people in favor of secession were elected. It started its crucial meeting that began on this date, the 22nd of July, in 1861.
That was Across Our Wide Missouri with Bob Pretty. To listen to show archives, hear about this day in Missouri history, and learn more about the Show Me State, visit MissouriNet.com.
When these French Catholics learned that the British Protestants had taken over, they weren't pleased. It may be the reason this city still exists today. His story is this edition of the American Countryside.
It's true, I do travel the countryside for each of the interviews you hear on this show, but I'm also a farmer in northwest Missouri, and I enjoy sharing stories from agriculture as well. That's why I created the Farming the Countryside show, where I interview guests with information important in farm and ranch country. You can hear us on many local radio stations. Just look for our station list on the Farming the Countryside page on Facebook, or catch it as a podcast on the AgriTalk app or your favorite podcast platform. Listen to Farming the Countryside, brought to you by Pivot BioProven, as we share information those in agriculture need to know.
I'm Tyne Morgan, host of U.S. Farm Report, the only weekend television show that features some of agriculture's biggest names. From custom commentary from John Phipps to the stories of antique iron with Machinery Pete to a list of more than 30 marketing analysts, our weekly program focuses on the topics that matter most to you. We invite you to join us each weekend for U.S. Farm Report, timely, trusted tradition.
This town on the banks of the Mississippi dates to well before the founding of the nation.
The village started out in the late 1740s, and it was really an agricultural settlement to start out with on the bank of the Mississippi River. And a lot of the original inhabitants were actually French Canadians.
Jim Baker says many Canadians came here and settled on both sides of the river to farm the rich alluvial soil. When the French lost the French and Indian War in the 1760s, lives were affected here.
They turned over what was Quebec and Canada to the British, a big chunk of modern-day United States from the Alleghenies to the Mississippi, but the land they held west of the Mississippi River was turned over to Spain. And so there was a Spanish government here, and suddenly all those French people on the Illinois side became British subjects, which they didn't find very amusing.
St. Genevieve grew as French Catholics moved across the river, so they would be under the Spanish Catholic government rather than the Protestant British. St. Genevieve was under Spanish control for nearly 40 years.
In 1800, a secret treaty, the Treaty of San Ildefonso, transferred the territory from Spain back over to France. And the Spanish figured out they weren't really making any money in the Louisiana territory, and so France was powerful enough again by that time, they gave the territory right back to France.
Then France sold the land to the United States just 3 years later as part of the Louisiana Purchase. Even though that transaction took place over 2 centuries ago, much of the old town remains. That's next time as we travel the countryside. In St. Genevieve, Missouri, I'm Andrew McCray.
Would consumers rather eat a plant burger or a ground beef burger? I'm Julie Harker with Healthy Living on Brownfield. Kansas State University researchers had consumers try ground beef offered with 10% fat, 20% fat, and 30% fat, along with plant-based alternatives. It found that consumers preferred the taste and flavor of the ground beef no matter what the fat level. Less than 1/3 of the participants said they would buy the plant-based alternatives in the store. Fat tends to give more flavor to meat, but there was no difference among the 3 fat levels when compared to ground beef alternatives. The researchers say consumers rated the plant-based alternatives as extremely dry and very low in flavor. In other findings, consumers found the plant-based ground beef alternatives were more tender than regular ground beef, but that meant they were softer and less likely to hold together than a real beef burger. Consumers preferred the texture of the ground beef more than the softer plant-based meat alternative. It was found that while ground beef patties shrink when cooked, the plant-based alternatives stayed the same size and in some cases got bigger. The market and demand for plant-based alternative meats has grown over the past 6 years, but the K-State researchers say there are few studies to compare them directly to ground beef. They say plant-based alternatives are very different from ground beef in how they cook, look, and taste. The study was funded by the Kansas Beef Council. I'm Julie Harker with Healthy Living on Brownfield.
I'm Will Robinson with Agribusiness News on Brownfield, sponsored by Stewart & Kiefer Real Estate and Auction, the 4th generation serving buyers and sellers of Missouri's land and agribusiness since 1932. Find them at stewartandkiefer.com or call 417-646-2312. U.S. Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack pleaded with the Senate Judiciary Committee Wednesday to find a labor solution that works for agricultural producers, processors, and workers.
Immigrant labor comes in and does the difficult, challenging work that the rest of us are not interested in doing. They do it well, and they have the notion of being able to supply an opportunity for a better life for their family. We need to figure out something that allows them to have that connection with their family that the rest of us enjoy every single day.
Ranking member Chuck Grassley of Iowa says clearly there is still a border crisis, and it's unfortunate that many farm workers are undocumented at the same time the H-2A program isn't working. A long-standing heat wave in the high plains that has proven detrimental to livestock operations and spring grains continues to drive the markets with no sign of relief.
It has been a monstrous heat wave weather pattern, not fit for man nor beast.
Brownfield meteorologist Greg Solier says in some cases the heat has killed off spring wheat, barley, and pasture land, rattling the markets.
There's just no way to make up that loss, so whether it be harvest potential, livestock numbers anytime soon, may have to move into the late summer, if not fall, before there's any opportunity to get some additional recharge in there. So the damage is essentially done.
A U.S. Senate bill encourages farmers and other landowners to increase their wildlife and habitat conservation. Recovering America's Wildlife Act co-sponsor Roy Blunt of Missouri says the legislation recognizes the need for immediate wildlife and habitat restoration, calling for voluntary efforts from farmers.
It establishes a new wildlife conservation and restoration program within the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services to promote voluntary conservation efforts to work with private landowners and others.
Blunt says the RAWA goes beyond previous legislation that has been helpful but not restorative. The bill would allocate more than $1 billion in annual funding for state-led conservation efforts. After a slow start to 2021, U.S. beef exports to Taiwan have seen substantial growth. Joel Haggard, Senior Vice President for the Asia-Pacific region with the U.S. Meat Export Federation, says demand for high-quality U.S. beef has been robust despite another spike in COVID cases and restaurant restrictions.
On the other hand, retail sales have surged. The U.S. exports a relatively high proportion of chilled beef for the retail trade in Taiwan.
1 in 5 Missouri children is food insecure. Join Missouri Agriculture in the Drive to Feed Kids at mofarmerscare.com/drive and help make a difference. I'm Will Robinson on Brownfield.
It's time to get back together. Back to group hugs and group hangs. Dining in with family and going out with friends. But to get back to the things we love safely, we need to get vaccinated. COVID-19 vaccines are free and proven effective. But if you still have questions, that's okay. It's your choice. Go to mostopscovid.com or call 877-435-8411 to get answers and find a vaccine near you. Because we're stronger together.
Did you know that more than 90% of poisonings happen at home? Look closely and you will find poison risks hidden in plain sight inside every house. But there are actions you can take to poison-proof your home, like keeping household cleaners locked up high and away from children, properly labeling and securing medicines and supplements, and installing carbon monoxide detectors near bedrooms and furnaces. Visit poisonhelp.hrsa.gov to learn more, or call your local poison center at 1-800-222-1222, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Soybeans, corn, cattle, and hogs have all turned higher. I'm John Perkins with the Brownfield Market Update. Yield plus protection. Stein Agrisure corn has the highest yielding genetics plus outstanding insect control and in-crop tolerance to field stressors. Learn more at steinseed.com. Soybeans and corn are both up modestly, watching the weather. August beans are 2 higher at $14.45 and a quarter. September's up 3 at $14.02. September corn's 1.5 higher at $5.73 and a quarter. December's up 3.5 at $5.69 and a quarter. Live and feeder cattle are waiting for widespread direct business. August live's up 40 at $120.17. October's 47 higher at $125.17. August feeders are up 70 at $156.22. And on demand expectations, August hogs are $1.27 higher at $106.27, and October leans up $130 at $92.32. We are online at brownfieldagnews.com. John Perkins, Brownfield Market Update.
Over the past several months, we've seen a significant increase in road rage incidents in our area. Most of these incidents are random, and unfortunately several have ended with gunfire. If you encounter an aggressive driver, do not engage in a verbal altercation with them. Slow down, let them pass by, or take an exit and put some time and distance between you and the aggressive driver. When it's safe to do so, dial 911 or star 55 and report the incident to authorities. Allow law enforcement to handle the situation. You can't control the actions of others, but you can control how you react. This is a public service announcement from the Missouri State Highway Patrol and the St. Louis Area Police Chiefs Association.
Hi, I'm Vivica Fox. For more than 100 years, American Humane has been helping our best friends in their worst times, during hurricanes, tornadoes, and increasingly, wildfires. They're real heroes to these animals. But Mother Nature isn't the only danger that animals face. Sometimes it's human nature that's the greatest threat. Each year, more than 6 million beautiful adoptable animals are being abandoned, and more than 1 million are euthanized before they can be rescued. These animals need heroes too. Heroes to open up their hearts and homes and to give them the love they deserve. Be a hero to an animal in need. Consider becoming an American Humane Rescue Volunteer or adopt from your local shelter. Visit AmericanHumane.org to find out how you can be a hero and help our best friends in their worst times.
My son, Tyler, was killed in a crash. He did everything he could to avoid that crash. He was traveling under the speed limit. He had all of his safety gear on, but when that truck pulled in front of him, our Tyler had nowhere to go. I couldn't be there to hold my son while he closed his eyes for the last time. I couldn't be there to say, "Hang on, Tyler."
Remember, when you're driving, watch out for motorcycles. This message is brought to you by the Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Kids are full of energy, but keeping them active in their teen years can be a challenge. Aim for an hour of physical activity every day. If they like sports, that's a great place to start. Keep the focus on fun, not winning, and encourage your child to do a variety of activities. If your child isn't meeting that 60-minute goal, gradually increase their activity in ways they enjoy. For more, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Don't let the devil get a foothold.
Today on Focus on the Family Minute, Pastor Bob Craning describes the potential consequences of unresolved conflict in your marriage.
I'm convinced that the devil gets his toes in the best in a long-term anger situation. You get a couple that get in a hassle and can't get it solved. All of a sudden you got a husband who's getting strokes from a secretary, you've got a wife who's getting strokes at work or somewhere else, and all of a sudden you've got an extra affair going on because people can't solve a problem within the structure of the marriage. And all the devil needs is one little crack. Long-term anger situations in a marriage are a great place for the devil to get a foothold. He'll get in there and begin something that becomes incredibly destructive, and he warns us about it. That long-term anger will do that.
It's important to solve the problems in your relationship, but if you can't resolve the conflict, ask for help from a caring professional. You can hear more from Bob Craning at FamilyMinute.org.
Thank you. It's about 30 seconds in front of 7 o'clock. We are AM 1560 KTUI Sullivan 94.1 FM. You can pick us up on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for KTUI Live. And let's see, what else do we have for you? Oh, Joe Lee has a birthday today, and Kelsey Bentledge from St. Louis Dairy Council will be my guest today. This is Hammock Day and Summer Leisure Day, so I can imagine, being in a hammock out between two trees, summer leisure, yeah. 7 o'clock news brought to you by Sullivan Bank.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
As a $26 billion settlement over the cost of opioid deaths, some public health experts are citing missed opportunities for saving more lives. The settlement calls for drug maker Johnson & Johnson to pay up to $5 billion in addition to the billions from major national drug distribution companies. North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein on an AP Zoom call.
The $26 billion agreement will bring desperately needed resources home to each of our states, an estimated $750 million here in North Carolina, to help people struggling with opioid use disorder find hope, freedom from addiction, and happiness.
The Biden administration is deciding whether to formally urge vaccinated Americans to once again mask up as the country experiences an increase in the number of COVID-19 Delta variant. White House aides are in talks Thursday with officials from the CDC about proposed messaging to the public. USA Radio News.
If you feel like you're stuck with a healthcare plan that isn't affordable or you simply don't like it, right now is a great time to switch to MediShare. The typical family saves $500 a month when they join MediShare, and what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate compared to the typical health insurance plan. That's double. So you get a massive network of providers to choose from. You get telehealth services, and MediShare is the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. It's been around for more than 25 years, shared more than $4 billion in healthcare bills. Here's why now really is the time to make the switch, too. You can start saving each month, which is huge, but right now they'll waive your joining fee. So you'll save another $170 right off the bat. But again, it's a limited time offer. You got to call now. And it only takes 2 minutes to find out how much you'd save by switching. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Republicans are ready to fight on the side of the federal debt limit, warning Democrats that it will be up to them to avoid a default as President Biden pushes for trillions more in spending. GOP senators say they will not lift a finger to help Democrats raise the debt ceiling. The limit on how much debt the federal government can owe has been suspended for nearly 2 years after a bipartisan deal between President Trump and lawmakers. The Congressional Budget Office estimated Wednesday that the Treasury Department will most likely run out of cash in October or November. Since NASCAR is taking a break from racing because of the Olympics, driver Kurt Busch was asked by Motor Racing Network what sport he likes to watch during the timeout.
For me, I'm an archery guy. That's my hidden talent. I love to go out and shoot the bow. But then a buddy of mine that's teaching a friend of mine's son of BMX, Connor Fields. He's a monster athlete. He's qualified BMX, and I'm hoping that he brings home the gold.
Thanks for listening. We are USA Radio News.
Look, bud, I said your money or your life. I'm thinking it over.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah. The new Edgar Bergen Hour with Charlie McCarthy.
Now, if you say help me, I'll mow you down.
3 hours a day, 7 days a week of the greatest radio shows of all time. Classic Radio Theater. Available on many of these radio stations or available on demand anytime at any podcast app by searching USA Classic Radio Theater. USA Classic Radio Theater.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi canceled 2 of the 5 Republicans from the GOP selection to investigate January 6th. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy now calls Pelosi's partisan panel a sham.
Denying the voice of members who have served in the military. Jim Banks, a Navy veteran who served in Afghanistan. Serves on HASC, chair of the largest caucus, the Republican Conference. And law enforcement, as well as a leader of a standing committee. Jim Jordan isn't ranking of just his first committee, he's done it before. Jim Jordan has served on select committee and serves on one now. Made it undeniable this panel has lost all legitimacy and credibility. And it shows exactly what I warned back at the beginning of January, that Pelosi would play politics with this. For more than 6 months, you have a better example of the Senate, bipartisan. Schumer didn't pick who went on as the Republicans. They already have the report done by 2 different committees. 2 main questions. Why was the Capitol so ill-prepared for that day when they knew on December 14th they had a problem? And what have we done to make sure that never happens again? Pelosi has created a sham process. Unless Speaker Pelosi reverses course and seats all 5 Republicans, we will not participate. But we think it's too important. Why would they jeopardize the lives of the Capitol Police? We will run our own investigation.
I'm Lance Pry, and this is USA Radio News.
The OBGYN you choose matters. They will be by your side to guide you through the important stages of life, from puberty to childbirth to menopause and everything in between. Choose healthcare you can trust from the experts at BJC Medical Group, located right here in your community at Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital. Visit MissouriBaptistSullivan.org to schedule your appointment with one of our board-certified OBGYNs. Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital, your best medicine close to home.
This moment in history brings with it the chance to advance yourself while protecting our community. At BJC, you'll belong to a world-class healthcare system that offers tuition reimbursement available your first day, schedule flexibility, and 30,000 remarkable colleagues. You'll feel the unity and opportunity and find strength within. Apply now at bjcopportunity.org. Sign-on bonuses available.
Missouri Net News is presented by the Missouri Department of Labor's Shared Work Program. Layoffs aren't your only option. Go to sharedwork.mo.gov.
The new head of the State Department of Health comes from Illinois. Donald Karoff will be the next director of the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services effective on September 1st. Karoff served as the assistant director of the Illinois Department of Public Health from 2016 till his retirement in 2018. More recently, he was selected to chair the Illinois Terrorism Task Force and has served in that capacity throughout the COVID-19 crisis. Governor Parson said when he introduced Karoff that the new director would be able to hit the ground running, but Parson added his own criteria.
Faith and family are important in any decision that I make. And after my conversation with Don, I knew he understood that. It is obvious that he has a firm grasp on public health issues and the COVID-19 crisis. But more importantly, he knows the value of family.
Karoff comes from a background of public health and emergency management, a combination that Governor Parson says will serve the state well. As coronavirus cases continue to climb, Cole County and Central Missouri will not be sending workers into neighborhoods to help spur its vaccination rate. State information shows about 43% of the county's residents have had their first coronavirus shot. During a county commission meeting this week, Commissioner Harry Otto says he opposes workers going door to door to provide information about the vaccine.
If you don't know about it by now, you either
live in a cave or a van by the river.
And with a time of 36 hours and 20 minutes, the three-person boating team of Mackay Death Ride has won the MR 340 boat race across Missouri on the Missouri River. The boat pulled into St. Charles last night at 8:20 p.m. after starting the race on Tuesday morning. The boat's average speed was 9.3 miles per hour for the race. Dustin LeCave had the winning solo time of 39 hours and 47 minutes. He pulled in after dark. You're listening to the latest news on Missouri Net.
I'm Doris Falkenrath, and I am a warden at the Fulton Reception and Diagnostic Center. When I was the volunteer coordinator, we had offenders that actually were incarcerated at the same prison where I worked who got out and then became volunteers in corrections. And so they would come back inside and share their experiences with the other offenders, and they would thank the staff members who made a positive impact on them. So that, to me, was one of the most rewarding things, is to see people coming back inside who had also been incarcerated to help those who are getting ready to get out. It's an experience that I really can't even put into words. Corrections will be one of the most challenging, yet one of the most rewarding experiences of your life. There's nothing else like it, because you are going to be in contact with people who really need your help, who really need good role models, and you will have the opportunity to provide that. It has been one of the best experiences of my life.
Secure your future at doc.mo.gov/jobs. The Missouri Department of Corrections is an equal opportunity employer.
You're listening to the latest news on Missouri Net. The governor has signed legislation into law that creates Missouri's first state park that honors the heritage of freed slaves. Bill supporters say making the Antioch Cemetery in west central Missouri's Clinton a state park will preserve the final resting place of slaves and their descendants. Windsor State Representative Roger Reedy, the bill's sponsor, wants to preserve the cemetery for the future.
What I would like to see is just a place where people can go look up history and to just preserve that part of history in this area.
The 5-acre cemetery was founded in 1888 when a local farmer deeded the property to freed slaves. The bill signed by Governor Parson designates Antioch Cemetery as a state historic site. And the National Weather Service says an excessive heat watch will be in effect from tomorrow afternoon through next Wednesday for the Kansas City metro area. The heat index could reach as high as 105 degrees during that time. You're listening to the latest news on Missouri Net.
We know that everyone's checking account needs are not the same. Hello, this is Lisa Volkman with Sullivan Bank. At Sullivan Bank, we offer a wide variety of checking accounts. You can choose from cash back on purchases, higher interest accounts, or accounts that have no service fees. At Sullivan Bank, we have one that is sure to fit your individual checking needs. Let us help you choose the account that is best for you. Stop by or go online at sullivanbank.com to open an account today.
A 17-year-old was shot in the chest and injured near St. Louis Carr Square neighborhood last night. Police say they were alerted of a shooting when the victim showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound to the upper chest. The incident report from police said the victim had stable vitals while receiving treatment, but also lost consciousness and was barely breathing. Officers discovered that the shooting happened near the intersection of Cass Avenue and 20th Street at around 7 p.m. The shooting was picked up by ShotSpotter technology in the area. Police did not say what led up to the shooting. The investigation is ongoing. A man was wounded during an early morning shooting yesterday. The shooting happened at 7:15 a.m. near North Grand and Emily Street in the College Hill neighborhood. According to police, a man was boarding a Metro bus. He got caught in a crossfire between two vehicles. The man was shot in the stomach, was taken to a hospital. He was conscious and breathing. No additional information has been released. Emergency crews rescued a man after he dived into the Big River last night at Rockford Beach. The incident happened shortly before 7:15 p.m., according to the High Ridge Fire District. The man was transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The Missouri State Highway Patrol reported an accident in Franklin County at 5 o'clock yesterday morning on eastbound Highway T east of Powell's Point Road. A 2000 Yamaha V-Star motorcycle ridden by 40-year-old Derek M. Lawful of Labadie attempted to avoid a deer in the roadway. He caused the motorcycle to skid and overturn. 40-year-old Derek Lawful of Labadie had minor injuries. He was transported to Mercy Hospital in St. Louis by Merrimack Ambulance District. At 1:44 this morning in Franklin County, 40-year-old David L. Bell of St. Clair was arrested on Jefferson County warrant for failure to appear for passing a bad check. He was taken to the Franklin County Jail and was bondable. The Highway Patrol made an arrest in Washington County at 12:19 this morning. 25-year-old Robert C. Akers of Bellevue was arrested for a patrol charge of driving while intoxicated. He was taken to the Washington County Sheriff's Office in Potosi for a 12-hour hold. At 8:29 last night in Franklin County, 29-year-old Devin N. Strange of St. Clair was arrested on patrol charges of possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, 1 gram, Franklin County warrant for failure to appear 4 times, and she was taken to the Franklin County Jail and was bondable. At 8:21 p.m. yesterday in Phelps County, 50-year-old Tiffany A. Scott of St. Louis was arrested for felony DWI, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, failure to properly affix plates, possession of plates of another, no insurance, driving while revoked. She was taken to the Dent County Jail for a 12-hour hold. For workers at GM's Wentzville Assembly Plant in St. Charles County, masks are now mandatory across all shifts. In an effort to stay a step ahead of the virus, UAW Local 2250 has encouraged members to get vaccinated. While it's unclear how many people inside the Wentzville facility have been vaccinated, 48% of people in St. Charles County have had the vaccine. With the spread of the Delta variant across Missouri, both the UAW and GM wanted to make sure everyone stayed safe with a mandatory mask mandate. The Sullivan City Council passed a resolution Tuesday night to allow utility vehicles and recreational off-highway vehicles on city streets. All-terrain vehicles and golf carts are not allowed on city streets. For utility vehicles, the operator will need a valid operator's or chauffeur's license, and the vehicle shall be operated at speeds of less than 40 miles per hour. You need to maintain proof of financial responsibility in accordance with the resolutions of the state of Missouri, or maintain any other insurance policy providing equivalent liability coverage for a utility vehicle. You need to comply with all state laws. No person shall operate a utility vehicle in any careless way so as to endanger the person or property of another, or while under the influence of alcohol or any controlled substance. Recreational off-highway vehicles, or OHVs, are defined as any motorized vehicle manufactured and used exclusively for off-road use, which is more than 50 inches but no more than 80 inches in width, measured from outside of the tire rim to the outside of the other tire rim. You need to have a valid operator's or chauffeur's license, maintain proof of financial responsibility, must display a lighted headlamp and lighted tail lamp. You have to wear a seat belt. You need to have it equipped with a roll bar or roll cage and comply with all state laws. Motorized bicycles are defined as any 2- or 3-wheeled device having an automatic transmission and a motor with a cylinder capacity of not more than 50 cubic centimeters. It produces less than 3 gross brake horsepower and capable of propelling the device at a maximum speed of not more than 30 miles per hour on level ground. No person shall operate a motorized bicycle on any highway, streets, or roads in the city unless the person has a valid license to operate a motor vehicle. No motorized bicycle may be operated on any public thoroughfare located within the city that has been designated as part of the federal interstate highway system. And every person riding a bicycle or motorized bicycle upon a street or highway shall be granted all the rights and shall be subject to all the duties applicable to the driver of a vehicle as provided by the resolutions of the state of Missouri. The American Red Cross continues to experience a severe blood shortage, and donors of all blood types, especially type O, and those giving platelets, are urged to make an appointment to give now. There is a blood drive in Sullivan from 3 until 7 p.m. on Monday at St. Matthew Lutheran Church on Church Street in Sullivan. That is a look at your local news on a Thursday. I'm Sam Scott.
Seidenstricker Partners, your John Deere compact tractor headquarters, is offering 0% financing on all 1 through 5 series tractors. Our 1023E Workhorse is starting as low as $184 a month with a mower and a loader. Have more land? Go bigger with our 3025E Homesteader starting at $218 a month. All tractors come with our S&P 10-year warranty and attachment options to suit your property's needs. Seidenstricker, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 8/3/2021. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. What do you do when water doesn't flow? Low pressure, clicking sounds from the pressure tank. Pump runs constantly? You contact Schrepfer Well Drilling, your water pro. Their knowledgeable staff is ready to handle whatever water issue you're experiencing. Schrepfer Well Drilling also handles a full line of water treatment equipment. Hard water, red water, sulfur, it can all be treated. Family owned and operated since 1953. They can repair your pump system and improve your water quality. Your family owned water company, SchrepferWellDrilling.com.
In recent funeral notices, Marie Cox, née Bailey of St. Clair, passed away Saturday at the age of 98. Funeral services will be held at 10 o'clock this morning at Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Burial will be in the Anaconda Cemetery. Visitation will be after 9 o'clock this morning until the time of services at 10 at Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Memorials may be made to the Alzheimer's Association or American Diabetes Association in the name of Marie Cox. Walter Warrand of Owensville passed away Thursday at the age of 85. A memorial service will be held at 11 o'clock this morning at Zion Lutheran Church in Owensville. Cremains will be interred at St. John's Lutheran Cemetery at Charlotte with full military honors. Visitation will be held from 10 o'clock until the time of services at 11 at Zion Lutheran Church in Owensville this morning. Allie Lee Klepper, née Hendricks of St. Clair, passed away Sunday at the age of 84. Funeral services will be held Friday at 11 a.m. at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Burial will be in the Midlawn Memorial Gardens in Union. Visitation for Allie will be from 10 until 11 a.m. on Friday at Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Memorials may be made to the family of Allie Lee Klepper. Judith K. Jones, née Crump of Edgar Springs, passed away Tuesday at the age of 81. Graveside services will be held Friday at 11 a.m. at the Missouri Veterans Cemetery at Fort Leonard Wood. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be given to the Salvation Army in the name of Judith Jones. All arrangements are under the direction of the Hudson Funeral Home of Cuba. Janet Marie Eckert, née Ransom of Steelville, passed away Wednesday at the age of 65. Visitation will be from 5 until 6 p.m. on Friday at Hudson Funeral Home in Steelville. Funeral service will immediately follow at 6. The family has chosen cremation as the final disposition. Memorials are suggested to the American Cancer Society in the name of Janet Eckert. Robert Bob Weimer of Sullivan passed away Saturday at the Missouri Veterans Home in St. James at the age of 90. Funeral services will be Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Eaton Funeral Home in Sullivan. Bob will be buried in the Koch Family Cemetery. Visitation will be from 4 until 8 p.m. on Friday at the Eaton Funeral Home in Sullivan. Memorial contributions in Bob's memory may be made to the Outreach Ministry of Grace United Methodist Church in Sullivan. Ronald Kenneth Smith of Cook Station passed away Friday at the age of 81. Visitation will be held from 1 until 2 p.m. on Saturday at First Presbyterian Church in Cuba. Celebration of Life service will immediately follow at 2 p.m. Interment will be in the Carr Cemetery in Cook Station at a later date. In lieu of flowers, memorials are suggested to either St. Jude Children's Research Hospital or Shriners Hospital for Children in St. Louis in the name of Ronald Smith. Earl LaRon Vernat of St. Clair passed away Sunday at the age of 72. Committal services will be held at 10 a.m. on Wednesday at Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery in St. Louis. The family of Earl Vernat being served by the Russell Colonial Funeral Home of St. Clair. The complete funeral announcements with all the survivors will air with our 8 o'clock expanded edition of KTUI News this morning.
As a trauma-informed provider, Compass Health Network is equipped to assist you or a loved one struggling with trauma, anxiety, depression, substance use disorder, or other behavioral health conditions. Our providers understand that everyone's life experiences are different and will work with you in person or virtually to develop the most effective plan of care. You are not alone. Call Compass Health Network today at 844-853-8937 or visit compasshealthnetwork.org for more information.
Keep moving ahead with Goodyear at Joe's Tire Company and Bourbon Tire and Lube. Get up to $75 back by online or mail-in rebate on a select set of 4 Goodyear tires, like the Assurance Weather Ready or the Wrangler All-Terrain Adventure. Plus, get up to another $75 more when you use your Goodyear credit card. That's up to $150 in savings waiting for you whenever you're ready to get out and get moving. The Goodyear credit card is subject to credit approval. Stop by Joe's Tire Company in Owensville or Bourbon Tire and Lube in Bourbon.
From the KTUI WeatherBug Weather Center for this morning, expecting mostly clear skies, mostly sunny this afternoon, warm with a high near 90. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 66. Friday, sunny and warm, a high of 91. Friday night, mostly clear, a low of 71. Saturday, sunny and warm, a high of 93. Saturday night, mostly clear, a low of 73. On Sunday, sunny and warm, a high of 94. And Sunday night, partly cloudy, a low of 72. For KTUI, I'm Andrew Brady.
Thank you, Andrew. It is 23 minutes past the hour 7 o'clock. I'm Sam Scott. Glad to have you along this morning. Joe Lee has a birthday, 9:10 this morning. Supposed to talk with Kelsey Butledge from St. Louis Dairy Council. And then at 10:05 this morning, recorded live from the White Mule Winery. They don't have a new show for today, so we're going to play an old show, I guess. But so it's live on tape or something like that from the White Mule Winery. And I haven't picked a show out yet, so I can't even tell you what it's about. We've got some sports coming up for you in just a bit. First, listen to this.
When it comes to your finances, you need a team you can trust, someone who can help you through any situation, a local community bank you can depend on. At First State Community Bank, we are that partner. And because we're committed to Sullivan, you won't have to worry about changes to your accounts or locations. Come see me, Jordan Todd, in Sullivan today. My team and I are excited to partner with you. We'll make the process of switching banks quick and easy.
First State Community Bank, member FDIC, online at fscb.com.
Missouri Net Sports, I'm Bill Pollock. The Royals completed the season sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers with a 6-3 win. Nicky Lopez broke a 3-3 tie in the top of the sixth with a 2-run double, and Brad Keller picked up his first win since early June. Royals are off today. They'll be home to take on the Detroit Tigers tomorrow night.
John, this ball club has really been something to come back from that loss last night.
Well, the way the Cardinals played last night with Adam Wainwright pitching 7 strong innings didn't figure in the decision, but he set the table from the starting standpoint. Harrison Bader had 3 big hits, doubled in a tying run. Dylan Carlson doubled in a go-ahead run. And even though the Cubs were able to take advantage of a hit by pitch and get a run in the 9th inning to tie the game, they couldn't score in the 10th because Edmundo Sosa, with runners at first and third, made a heads-up play, kicking second to start a double play, taking in a ground ball, then throwing to Yadier Molina to start a rundown, tagging Rizzo out at third. The Cubs didn't score. Then Yadier Molina drove in the winning run in the bottom of the 10th, beating Craig Kimbrough.
The pitching and the defense has been something. A great play by the Cardinal third baseman in the ball game. A heck of a play by the Cardinal center fielder to rob Cub of a home run. And we're on the air tonight at 5:20 with the pregame show.
Blues defenseman Vince Dunn picked up by the Seattle Kraken in the NHL expansion draft last night. Dunn was a second-round pick of the Blues in 2015 and set career highs in goals and assists during the Blues Stanley Cup run. Mizzou's Tyler Beatty named to the Doak Walker Award watch list for best running back in college football. Bill Pollock, Missouri Net Sports.
I really like the look of this year's Cardinals team, but there's another lineup that has never let me down. It's the lineup of stories that Cardinals Magazine delivers every single issue. If you want to get the most out of following the Cardinals, Cardinals Magazine brings it with the perfect mix of inside information and personal player stories. Start a subscription at cardinals.com/magazine or call 314-345-9000. Cardinals Magazine, it's all here.
Well, good morning to you. It is 26 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. I'm Sam Scott. And Mike Bittner is along with me here this morning, although if you're watching on YouTube, you can't see me.
That's good.
Oh, I hear you.
That's good. They don't need to see me. It's you know, especially those that haven't eaten their breakfast yet.
Well, for some reason.
Years ago, you took the phone call when a guy in this town that's getting ready to retire, I won't mention his name, but he is the chief of police, said that I had a face for radio. And he was correct. I have a face only my wife can love.
He's only got, what, another week or so?
Yeah, September 1st, isn't it? That's September 1st.
Yeah, I believe August 31st is, July. Is it September?
It's September. I think it's September 1st.
September, and then, I think I'm getting superintendents messed up with.
Tony Strom is going in the... I think he's...
Schwarm?
Schwarm, I think, is the last of July.
Tony Schwarm.
Yeah, Tony's the last of July.
All right.
I mean, going by
so, those of you who were tuned in yesterday, Bobby D was interviewing Vernon yesterday because I still have, my voice is not completely back to where it was.
Really?
But yeah, I'm dragging the gravel here. And that wasn't really even the problem. I would do it, except I was having these coughing fits that would go on for, I don't know. They may have them today. I don't know. I hope not. But anyway, Bobby D started having some problems, and so the ambulance came and took him away. And so he told us later that he had some gallbladder problems.
Yep.
So I think he's going to have some surgery today. And so those of you who are concerned about Bobby D, he's being taken care of.
Yeah, prayers are still needed.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
But that's what the issue is.
His wife came up here from St. James, and so...
Might keep her in prayer, too, because she's got to put up with him when he's recovering.
Yeah. So anyway, so get well, Bobby.
You bet. We miss you over here, Bob.
Yeah. All right. So fewer. So you're a divorcee.
I am. Yeah.
Fewer than half of divorcees remain friends.
Yeah, we're not friends.
A survey of 1,000 divorced adults found 49% were not able to maintain a positive relationship with their former spouse. So.
But we did not have children either.
Yeah.
That does make a bit of a difference.
Yeah, because a lot of times you try to remain civil and.
Seen her talk to her, or even want to talk to her. So I like it that way.
And she probably is.
It's the same way. I'm sure it's the same way. That's fine.
So who have dirtier cars, men or women?
I would say women, but that's my guess.
So a study,
inside, I don't know.
A study suggests that more than half of all women go at least 6 months between washing their cars. The study found that about 56% of women surveyed let their cars go unwashed for more than 6 months. By comparison, only about 44% of the men surveyed were willing to go that long between washings.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Well,
if you're married,
that's
the husband's job. That's my opinion. So don't start getting mad at me. That's just my opinion. It's my job to get Kathy's car. I just washed her car the other day, actually.
Well, you're just such a good guy.
Well, no, but it's self-preservation.
Yeah, I wash Michelle's car. So, and I usually put gas in it and stuff,
Not always, but most.
I always tell her, if it's getting low on gas, let me know.
And the first thing I do when I get in the gas and get in the car is I look at the gas tank.
Yeah.
It's just the first thing I always do. I don't do it on my own, but she'll tell you she's never run out of gas. I
have. Thanks to high heat across big parts of the country, sales of water pistols are up.
Who paid for that survey?
Well, I don't know. I guess they can just tell, they can track. I don't think everybody's happy about that. I don't think my neighbors enjoy seeing me in a wet T-shirt, but...
No. No, that would be...
Speaking of pistols.
Uh-oh.
Your president.
Yes. Our president. He is. Whether we like him or not, he's still our president.
Oh, yeah. In a bewildering, illogical CNN town hall, Biden said, among some other things, whether it's a 9mm pistol or whether it's a rifle, it's ridiculous. I'm continuing to push the elimination of a sale on those things. But I'm not likely to get that done in the near term. He said that, I guess that was on Twitter. He also said, you're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations, which shows that he's shockingly not aware because they're telling you that you can still get COVID even if you had the vaccinations. You're less likely to die.
Yes.
Kind of like the flu shot. It doesn't keep you from getting the flu.
I got
you
the
are
flu shot
less
and got
likely
the
to die.
Correct.
So I don't know. Let's see. Is he telling us that all of those Texas Democrats who got COVID lied? Because they all said that they had the vaccinations.
Yep.
And they probably did.
Sure.
Biden also insisted the out-of-control spending will reduce inflation. That according to the Daily Wire. He told a restaurant owner that was struggling to find workers to simply pay them more.
Oh, yeah, that'll work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll work. Pay them more. Don't worry about making money. Don't worry about making enough money to pay your bills.
So I don't even want to go into this again, but I'm going to.
Okay.
If you pay somebody more, then to maintain your lifestyle or whatever, because if you're a business owner, you have bills, and there are people who believe that if you own a business, you're rich. Well,
yeah.
I can tell you,
I can too.
That's
not true.
And so you have to pay your bills, right? Part of your bills are paying your employees, and now if you used to pay your employees $11 an hour, now you have to pay them $15 an hour. So the cost of your services are going to go up, are they not?
They have to.
Yeah. So that means that other people, whether they make $11 or $15 or $18 or $25, they have to pay more for your services. So, it doesn't matter if you're, I don't know, if maybe you're a person who, cleans businesses for a living.
Okay.
And you've got a couple of employees, but now you have to pay them a lot more money, so you're gonna charge whoever you're cleaning their business. Last week we charged you $25. This week we have to charge you $35. Well, so your standard of living goes down, and so you're going to probably, you probably have people you have to pay.
You got electric bills and water bills stuff at home too.
You may have employees and stuff like that. So everything goes up. So I was thinking about this the other day. You could probably achieve the same thing by cutting everybody's salary in half.
It would go the other way. It would.
Yeah.
But
I just mean, wouldn't it achieve the same thing instead of
absolutely
basically
would.
What you're doing is you're making the American dollar worth less and less for the same services, and beats me, but I remember Derry Brownfield saying that he used to be his dad could trade the prize bull for a truck, and now you can't trade a herd of prize bulls for a truck hardly. So there's been some disconnect at some point.
Yeah. Doctors used to get paid by chickens and eggs and that's all people had.
Right. Well, and I'm just saying that go ahead and do it. In 6 months, the people who were living below the poverty line or not having a living wage, they still will not have a living wage because the price of everything else is going to go up, and it's inevitable. I mean, there's no way to stop it.
Correct.
A gallon of milk's going to go up. A gallon of gas is going to go up.
Everything's got to go up to cost.
Everything has to go up. A cup of coffee,
everything is adjoined to it.
I know. And so the person that's going to get hurt, the worst, is going to be the person in the middle.
Yes.
The middle class.
Yes.
Because their buying power will be severely cut.
Yes.
The people in poverty will
still be in
poverty.
And the people that are keeping the jobs going are still going to be keeping the jobs going because they're still money they have to make.
The ultra rich will still be ultra rich.
You're not going to stop that.
No.
I had a company I worked for years and years and years ago, back in the early 70s.
Yeah.
That this guy started his business.
Right.
And myself and two other guys worked very hard to build his business for him. Mm-hmm. Now, he sold the business, and he made a ton of money off of it.
Yeah.
Happy for him. I did not.
You didn't make a...
But the thing here's the thing that people don't, I guess people don't think about or whatever. When he started that company, everything he had was mortgaged to the hilt. If the company doesn't make it, he loses everything. Sure. I lose my job.
He took the risk.
Yes, he took the risk. So when he made all that money, there were some guys saying, hey, we helped you build all that. Where's my portion of that? Well, that was your job.
You had no risk.
Yeah, and that was your job. Your job was to build the company. Sure. That's what it was for.
Well, and that's capitalism.
Yeah. Imagine that.
So a judge slaps California
in the face.
Yeah. Did we finish the pay them more? No, I didn't think it. From Katie Pavlich, a perfect and telling response from a man who has only been in government for decades, taking money from taxpayers instead of signing the front of paychecks, and half the room where he did the town hall was empty. So let's see. So the judge slaps California and says Larry Elder will appear on the gubernatorial ballot.
He will, huh?
From the story, the judge's ruling reverses the actions of state election officials this week who blocked Elder from running in the race, citing incomplete federal tax filings required to become a candidate. His campaign office received notice Sunday that he was disqualified from being on the ballot. Elder said he suspects California Democrats are in cahoots with Newsom.
No.
Have been engaging in political shenanigans.
No, come on.
To keep him out of the election, which is... I don't know, says scheduled for, and then it quits.
Yep. Then we're done.
Yeah. They say under Biden, race relations hit new low. Remember how they dropped during the Obama-Biden administration? It's worse now with a 9-point drop in just 2 years, and that was from Gallup, who is fairly reliable, I think.
Yep. Been around a long time.
Yeah. So, I mean... You know, I'm obviously a fat white guy.
You're looking at another one, so go ahead.
But I, you know, all my life and up until, you know, I was in the military, you know, in the military there is no white or brown
one color.
Or black. Or
In mine it was green.
Green.
Yours was, yep, that's it. Just green.
Green was the color.
Yep.
And so then I got out and I worked in St. Louis and I worked, you know, with people from different countries and different ethnicities and all that stuff, and I thought things were going along fairly well, you know, that we were improving in race relations until the Obama presidency, and then things took a turn for the worse, in my opinion.
Went south again.
Yeah. And then I think under Trump, things were, although they, you know, daily accused the Trump administration of being racist, he provided jobs for this country that, you know, when people are working and doing well, then there's less problems of any kind, especially race relations and stuff like that. So I thought things were getting better, and now, obviously, they're not. So
I don't know.
Let's see. Eric Clapton.
Yes. Played a little music in his day.
I will not perform where a vaccination is required upon entry. From the story, responding to an announcement from British Prime Minister Boris Johnson that anyone wanting to enter nightclubs or other crowded venues will have to show a proof of COVID vaccination beginning in September. The legendary rock star issued a statement Wednesday following the PM's announcement on Monday, the 19th of July, 2021. I feel honor-bound to make an announcement of my own. I wish to say that I will not perform on any stage where there is a discriminated audience present, Clapton said, adding, unless there is a provision made for all people to attend, I reserve the right to cancel the show.
Yep, he has every right to do that.
Well, yeah, I think he does. So, you know, I wonder, there are, well, so I'm vaccinated, right?
Yep.
Okay. Not a big deal.
Yep. I am. It's not a big deal.
So are you.
Yep.
I don't worry about people who come in here whether they're vaccinated or not.
I don't
you know
either.
why? Because I'm vaccinated. So why do I care?
Yeah.
No. We just read. Well, you know, I just read a while ago that Biden said that, you know, if you have the vaccine, you can't get COVID, which is not true. But I have done what I can to
protect others and ourselves.
Right.
That's all we can do.
But, you know, so the thing is if people come in here, I'm not going to discriminate.
No, we're not going to ask them to see their vaccination card when they walk in the door. And somebody the other day told me I need to take a copy of my vaccination card and carry it in my wallet, because eventually I'm going to have people starting to ask me to enter places. I'm going to have to show that.
Well, then I won't enter.
That's why I said that, but then I won't go then. I just won't go in there.
There's too many things dividing this country right now.
One more is not.
One more doesn't need to be.
Nope.
California governor says to the homeless, "Come to California."
Oh gosh.
Well, I guess they're
there already. So.
Well, but they're hemorrhaging people.
Yeah.
People are moving out of California.
So he's going to fill the houses.
Well, if you bring homeless people there, then I guess it brings
population up.
Well, the population back up. You get your representatives back.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, anyway, so
they can't take care of the people they got.
I know. From the story, the Democrat made the comment when asked about the possible unintended consequences of signing the $12 billion AB 140 housing bill, I guess it is. Officials are required to, quote, develop a framework for the California Dream for all programs, the goals of which would make home ownership more affordable, unquote. So if you're homeless, come to California and you could buy a home. Well,
it costs 3 or 4 times higher out there than anywhere else in the world, outside of New York maybe, but...
Right. And so if you're homeless in Missouri, what are the chances that you'll be able to afford a house in California?
You got to get to California first.
Well, yeah. Everywhere. I heard one time that everywhere is walking distance if you have the time.
Well, that's true. That's very true, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, to the extent that people want to come here for new beginnings and all income levels, that's part of the California Dream, and we have a responsibility to accommodate and enliven and inspire. And the California Dream is still alive and well. That's why all those California dreamers are moving
into
out.
Texas and Oregon and Washington.
Yeah, right. Because the California Dream has failed them.
California has, in my opinion, San Diego and the ocean. Pretty much covers it.
Well, Los Angeles.
No,
No.
They can keep that. They can give it to somebody else. That's all that there is to go to California for. I mean, and now I will preface that and say, I have not been north of Frisco.
Oh, yeah.
So
I've been in Northern California.
I have not.
I was a kid, but it was really nice.
I have not.
Let's see. So Mr. Newsom said Monday, when asked if the Golden State, mired in a homeless crisis, might become a magnet for similar out-of-state populations, that's when he said the California Dream is still alive and well.
No, I'm not going to go about the American Dream. I was going to say, well, no, we'll just let that alone.
Let's see. House Republicans call for universities that provide chemical abortions to lose funding. From the story, Illinois Rep. Mary Miller and Montana Senator Steve Daines co-sponsored the legislation in response to a 2019 California bill requiring public universities to provide chemical abortion pills to students beginning in 2023. The California legislation became the first in the nation to require abortion medication on campuses and was signed into law by Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom on the Daily Wire. Is that the...
That's the California Dream.
Well, but is that the day after pill or what do they
I
call
have
it?
no clue. I have no idea. I have no idea.
I don't either. I don't. DeSantis urges public to get vaccinated. DeSantis also said that people who are vaccinated will not experience the current wave of new COVID-19 cases in the state, saying that he gets a little bit frustrated over jurisdictions in the state still enforcing mask mandates, arguing that those jurisdictions are implying that the vaccines don't work. From Rich Lowry, classic DeSantis, clear, forceful, and factual. Despite the ongoing effort to make him out as some sort of troglodyte, he follows the latest data on all this very closely, and he always knows what he's talking about.
Who knows? We'll come up with a word like troglodyte. Where'd that one come from?
I don't know. I've read it in books.
Yeah, man.
Ever since
every time I try to come up with a word, people say, "Well, that's not a word." Well, it's normally not.
Troglodyte's been long before me.
Well, is that a dinosaur?
No, I don't know.
First cousin of dynamite, or?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like J.J. Walker. You know, out there doing those commercials now.
Yep.
What are those commercials for? Something about your
Isn't it
Social
old people?
Security.
Yes, it's Medicare or Medicare.
Dynamite.
Dynamite. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I think I saw. Did I see Nature Boy?
Yeah,
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair's on her too.
Doing
Yeah.
some of
yeah,
them.
he's doing. That's for
something else.
That's car. That's car.
Oh,
warranties.
the car warranty. Yeah. Him and the Swami.
Yeah,
And who is it? Ice-T or something? Or,
yeah, it's one. Your boy Ice-T. Yes, Ice-T. Yeah.
So, who among us, raise your hand if you didn't predict this, shoplifters just stroll right out of California stores with loads of merchandise in broad daylight.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Knowing nobody will stop them, and the Democrats running the state do not care. That from the New York Post.
Who do they think's paying for that?
Well, yeah, but I mean, so the backstory on this is that the Los Angeles police were told,
don't charge them.
Well, they for certain infractions, among them shoplifting up to $1,000 or something like that. Don't charge them. Well, basically, what that means is that it's not illegal to shoplift.
Under $1,000, it is once you get over $1,000.
Over $1,000, yeah.
You take it wherever you want.
So
just walk in and say, I want this, and you leave.
How do store owners? I mean,
how do you protect your business?
Why do people elect people?
Yeah.
That this is ridiculous.
Yep.
So I don't know.
You know, we have a place here in town, across the highway from us, that there's always. I mean, I wouldn't say always. That's an exaggeration, but there is we see a lot of police cars over there at this place picking up shoplifters.
Yes.
You know, I mean, and they're not. Most of the time, that's not $1,000 worth.
No, but
and did they get spanked? Yeah, they get spanked.
So let's just make it to where they can just take whatever they want to up to $1,000.
It's just ridiculous.
And then they're not taking it because they're criminals. They're taking it because they're hungry. Because,
yeah. That's what they're saying.
Because they need that big screen TV.
Yeah. I don't have a 50-inch TV, but they have one now. Yeah.
Well, it's because they're hungry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they can eat the corner of the cardboard.
Yeah, according to AOC.
Yeah.
Well, but who didn't know that was going to happen? If you're not going to arrest people for taking stuff, then they're just going to stroll out of the stores, like the story says.
With all the defund the police situations, who didn't think that what turned out with that was going to happen?
So Democrats are wanting to give blacks preference for federal aid over whites in a bold act of racial discrimination. Maxine Waters wants the race-based preference included in the massive spending package, according to the Washington Times. So they've already nixed the farm aid thing.
Right.
That was only going to go if you were a white farmer who suffered some losses or something. You need not apply
because you're not going to get it.
Because you weren't going to get it. But I guess a federal judge said, no, you can't do that. So there are a few judges out there, I guess, that still have
something like that end up in the Supreme Court.
Common sense or so. Scientists discover ancient viruses frozen in ice samples from a Tibetan plateau in China. So what could possibly go wrong with that?
Yeah. Don't take it to Hunan or what's the name of that place was.
Well, don't let them set up, what is it, Jurassic Park or whatever.
Park. Yeah, there you go.
Somebody, because I read, I don't know, it was a year ago or so, that scientists actually have the capability or something now, that they could take the DNA from the amber and create dinosaurs, and
make a Jurassic Park.
And basically they were saying, what could possibly go wrong, and somebody else was like, there's literally like 4 or 5 different movies that explain to you
what can go wrong.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we ought to pay some bills here.
I think we ought to. Okay.
Yeah. I think my voice has reached a
maximum
part where I could, cough some. Let's see here.
Yeah, Nicholas.
So Frykes. And I'm going to listen to Nick and then your buddy over at NOS Technology. I heard somebody talking about him the other day. They had their phone fixed or something over there. And he did a great job on it. So we'll talk about him in just a bit here.
However you celebrate summer, celebrate with Frykes Market. Barbecuing with family and friends? Frykes has food for that. Weekend camping trip? Frykes has food for that too. Big family vacation planned? take us with you. Or, just stop by Frike's for your car or airplane snacks. No matter what your summer plans are, Frike's Market is excited to be able to help you feed the ones you love. Frike's Market, located in downtown Sullivan for over 60 years.
Hi folks, this is Nick at Schmidt Auto Center. Did you know that we have a complete service center? From complete engine replacement to bulb replacement, safety inspections or tires, we can do it all. So whether you bought the car from us or not, we can take care of you. So for regular maintenance or a sick car, contact us here at Schmidt Auto Center. Call Allison at 573-468-2233. Schedule an appointment online at schmidtautocenter.com or find us on Facebook. Schmidt Auto Center, 750 South Service Road, Sullivan, Missouri. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. It's 7 minutes in front of 8 o'clock, and you got something there, Mike?
I do. NAS Technologies. And they've been around since 2018, down on Main Street. Love the Main Street businesses. People need to go down and check out Main Street. They just had a big flea market down there this past weekend. I think they're going to have one of those every once in a while. So check with the people down there. Really doing a good job. What problems can NAS fix? Cracked screens, dead batteries, water damage, speakers not working, broken buttons, charger port, transfer data. They'll transfer data for you. Run over with your lawnmower twice. They'll fix it for you. He heard that. I know he's listening. He's going to come in and scream at me.
I won't.
But anyway, stop down and see NAS or give them a call at 573-259-9626. 573-259-9626, and they're at 136 West Main, downtown Sullivan.
You know why he won't come in and yell at you? Because he was the dummy that ran over his phone with the lawnmower twice in 2 weeks or whatever. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but he owns the business, so I'm not going to say too much.
Yeah, and he is a year older now.
Yeah, he is. He's may start forgetting things and.
Yeah, because he's 31 now.
31, yeah. I was 31 once, more than twice ago. Hey, little bit of information.
All right.
Had
I need some information.
A local business, not local St. Sullivan, but local area, won a dealership award.
One of our advertisers.
Side and Stricker, Novi Partners, has earned the Farm Equipment's 2021 Dealership Award. This came out in the Gasconade County Republican. And it says Farm Equipment Magazine named Side and Stricker Novi Partners as its 2021 Dealership of the Year. An award presented annually to farm machinery dealers for 17 years.
Wow.
Side and Stricker Novi is being recognized not only for its outstanding financial and operating performance, but also for its demonstrated commitment to employee training, community involvement, and renowned customer service, according to a release from the magazine. They have been around for a combination of 191, serving as local communities for a collective 191 years between Side and Strickers and Nobies.
Yeah. There's another guy in there.
There's pictures here shows Tom Noby, Ted Briscoe, I apologize if I've said that correctly,
that's right.
and Eddie Side and Stricker.
Yeah.
They have 27 locations in 80 counties across Missouri, it says.
Wow. And so we deal with Brad Newman.
And Leanne Side and Stricker.
Right.
And they just opened a new store for smaller equipment over in Union. So stop by and see them over there at Side and Strickers. Novi Partners. Congratulations.
So today is Hammock Day.
I'm ready. Get me one. Put it between two trees and I'll just...
I've never... I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I couldn't go to sleep in a hammock. Because,
you can go to sleep standing up. That's how you do it.
But I mean, I can sleep pretty much anywhere. But hammocks, I don't know. I just can't. I don't. I've been in some of the big hammocks, that stay. Yeah. I don't like the ones that wrap around you, when you get in them, but the ones that have the bars across that keep it fairly flat, those are okay, I guess. But
we have a picture of my mom when she was in a hammock. We were camping one time, and my brothers and I got into. It's one of those that come up around you, and we started rolling her around in a hammock where she was all tied up in a hammock. And got a picture. It was funny. It really was funny. She laughed, almost lost her teeth. God love you, Mom.
So you were the oldest, right?
Yes, I was.
Did you beat up on your younger sibling?
No, I wouldn't do that. Sure I did. Every oldest does.
Yeah.
But they get older, they get bigger than you.
Yeah.
That's like my brother Rick, you know that.
He's not that much bigger than you.
No, I guess he's probably about 5'10", but 230, 225, 230.
Yeah.
He can move, though. I'm a little slow.
So this is Lion's Share Day. I don't know what that is. I mean,
Get the
I guess
lion's share
if
of
you
the
were the
business.
oldest sibling, I guess you got the lion's share.
Wrong. Got the lion's share of the problems, of the fault.
Let's see. Get ready to roar on Lion's Share Day. It's perfectly okay to try to take more than your share of something. A lion's share is an idiom meaning the largest part of something divided against other people. So.
Yeah, again, you get the largest share of the fault.
Yeah.
I used to get told somebody else would do something wrong, they wouldn't get in trouble. I would, because I was older and I should have known better.
That's true.
You know.
This is Mango Day. I like mangoes.
Yeah, I like mangoes.
So National Panouche Fudge Day. I know what fudge is.
Yeah, but I remember Panouche fudge.
From the Italian panucci. Panouche is made with brown sugar, milk, butter, and a dash of vanilla, and it's celebrated today.
Okay, that's good. I'll taste some.
I would eat it.
Yeah.
National Rat Catchers Day. I'm not eating that.
No, that could pass on that one.
National Refreshment Day. Okay.
I've got some refreshment right here.
Yeah, that's coffee.
Yeah. Well, you got some refreshment somewhere.
Your
red water.
So I bought this tea, and it's.
Oh, it's tea. Yeah.
Well, it says it's strawberry melon.
You probably can't taste it, can you?
I don't think there's any tea in it. I love the.
Oh, it's just strawberry
melon. I buy
melon?
it all the time, but I don't know that there's actually any tea in it.
Oh, okay.
But it says it is. I don't know. It says it's brisk iced
Well, then
tea.
you know it's correct.
Well,
if it says so on the label, you know that's what it's actually in it.
So, Pi Approximation Day celebrates the pi symbol. You know, it looks kind of
looks like a Japanese house.
Yeah, like pi r squared.
Yeah.
And it's important is mathematics. The symbol is a Greek letter and is used in mathematics to represent the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter.
There's only one thing pi is good for.
Ice cream, putting ice cream on top.
And eating it, that's it.
Yeah. So I don't know. This is Pi Approximation Day. Spoonerism Day. Now
they can go different directions.
Well, it says William Archibald Spooner was born on today's date in 1844. So anyway, focusing on philosophy, divinity, and history. So I guess he had some Spoonerisms or something that he like Yogi Berra.
Yeah.
So we are AM 1560 KTUI Sullivan 94.1 FM. You can pick us up on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for KTUI Live. It is 8 o'clock, 70 degrees. Here's the news.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
House Minority Leader Republican Kevin McCarthy now calls Pelosi's partisan January 6 panel a sham. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi canceled 2 of the 5 Republican lawmakers from investigating.
Unless Speaker Pelosi reverses course and seats all 5 Republicans, we will not participate. We will run our own investigation.
Pelosi in a statement said, I must reject the recommendations of Representative Banks and Jordan to the Select Committee. The unprecedented nature of January 6 demands this unprecedented decision. End quote. The Chinese government rejected a second phase of the World Health Organization's investigation into the origins of COVID-19. Calls into the possibility of the virus leaking from a Wuhan lab continue to grow. The Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman said the government had cooperated fully with the initial investigation and refuted allegations that researchers had been denied access to any locations or data. The lab continues to do business in Wuhan, China. USA Radio News.
Nothing is more important than your vote. Now, lawmakers across America are pushing for election integrity to make sure your vote really counts. All this week, Newsmax's Sean Spicer and Lindsay Keith are exposing the flaws in our voting systems and how to fix them. Make sure you watch Spicer and Company tonight on Newsmax for the real truth about your vote and how Texas, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and more are in the crosshairs. Everyone is watching Newsmax. It's on all major cable systems. If your operator doesn't carry it, call them. Tell them you want Newsmax or you can switch. And you can watch Newsmax on most streaming systems like Roku, Samsung, LG, Pluto, Zumo, and more. Plus, download the free Newsmax app on your phone and start watching now. Newsmax is your trusted news source. Every night, watch great shows, starting with Spicer and Company, Greg Kelly, Grant Stinchfield, Cortez and Pellegrino, and a lot more. Go to Newsmax for real news. Watch it today.
Texas is taking bids to complete the border wall. Dan Naraki explains.
Last month, Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced that his state would build a wall on the border with Mexico. The Texas Facilities Commission is reportedly preparing to begin to take bids for the project. Governor Abbott tells Newsmax TV that the project is advancing quickly, and it appears they'll be able to get the building done at a smaller price tag than first thought.
I got to tell you, it's advancing faster than I thought it would, and there's an easy explanation for it. The first thing we do is we hire a program manager who oversees the entire project, and we have to send that out for bids and things like that. But the reason why it's happening faster is because we have already received a lot of information from companies and businesses that built the wall under the Trump administration or offered bids to do so. And so we're not having to invent the wheel. We're just having to apply the wheel that's already been invented. And with the land that we already have available to us, it looks like it will be costing Texas a whole lot less than it did the Trump administration.
USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
What's being described as a super spreader event, Texas House Democrats have left a trail of COVID-19 infections since leaving the state. Let's get an update with Tim Berg from the Phoenix USA Radio News Bureau.
At least 6 Texas Democratic lawmakers that have fled the state to block an election reform bill have tested positive for coronavirus. Texas Republican Congressman Ronnie Jackson calls for those lawmakers to return to Texas.
When their 10 days of quarantine are over and they get released from their hotel rooms in Washington, D.C., they need to go immediately back to the state of Texas, and they need to fulfill their duties to the constituents there. They were voted and elected to represent the constituents of Texas, and they have completely gaffed off that duty, and it's time for them to do their jobs.
Those Texas Democratic lawmakers met with Senate Majority Leader and New York Democrat Senator Chuck Schumer, West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, and Vice President Kamala Harris. Spokespersons for each say they aren't quarantining.
Russia launched a long-delayed module for its segment of the International Space Station Wednesday. Reports are coming in it suffered technical problems after reaching orbit. Both Roscosmos and NASA said the module prematurely deployed its solar arrays and navigational antennas shortly after separating from the rocket. Neither agency has provided additional updates on the status. The module, 13 meters long and weighing more than 23,000 kilograms at launch, includes crew accommodations, attitude control systems for the station, research facilities, and cargo stowage. I'm Lance Pry. This is USA Radio News.
The OBGYN you choose matters. They will be by your side to guide you through the important stages of life, from puberty to childbirth to menopause and everything in between. Choose healthcare you can trust from the experts at BJC Medical Group, located right here in your community at Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital. Visit MissouriBaptistSullivan.org to schedule your appointment with one of our board-certified OBGYNs. Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital, your best medicine close to home.
This moment in history brings with it the chance to advance yourself while protecting our community. At BJC, you'll belong to a world-class healthcare system that offers tuition reimbursement available your first day, schedule flexibility, and 30,000 remarkable colleagues. You'll feel the unity and opportunity and find strength within. Apply now at bjcopportunity.org. Sign-on bonuses available.
On MissouriNet, I'm Bill Wise. The state will be awarding prizes up to $10,000 for people who get COVID-19 shots. Governor Parson, while saying it's a personal choice whether to get vaccinated, urged Missourians to listen to health professionals and community leaders.
I ask you to turn off the clutter, the doom and gloom scenarios that are out there across our state. All the misinformation is out there. All the people that have a political agenda to talk about this virus. And I ask you to go to your healthcare leaders in your communities, to the people you trust, to your doctors, to your clergies, to people you know that will give you good information. and be able to make your judgments on getting a vaccine.
And the Clay County Sheriff's Office in western Missouri is investigating the death of 3 adults inside a home yesterday. When deputies arrived, they located a man and 2 women relatives dead with no obvious signs of foul play. Autopsies are scheduled for later this week. More news online at MissouriNet.com. You're listening to news on MissouriNet.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Ryan Juergens, loan officer at First State Community Bank in Sullivan. Are you wanting a home with acreage, a hobby farm, or simply looking for a short-term loan? At First State Community Bank, we're offering a new 7-year adjustable rate mortgage program. Check out our 7-1 and 7-3 options, available to those with a 680 credit score or higher. Stop by to see our team today about the possibility of getting started.
First State Community Bank, member FDIC, online at fscb.com.
Keep moving ahead with Goodyear at Joe's Tire Company and Bourbon Tire and Lube. Get up to $75 back by online or mail-in rebate on a select set of 4 Goodyear tires, like the Assurance Weather Ready or the Wrangler All-Terrain Adventure. Plus, get up to another $75 more when you use your Goodyear credit card. That's up to $150 in savings waiting for you whenever you're ready to get out and get moving. The Goodyear credit card is subject to credit approval. Stop by Joe's Tire Company in Owensville or Bourbon Tire and Lube in Bourbon.
A 17-year-old was shot in the chest and injured near St. Louis Carr Square neighborhood last night. Police say they were alerted of a shooting when the victim showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound to the upper chest. The incident report from police said the victim had stable vitals while receiving treatment, but also lost consciousness and was barely breathing. Officers discovered that the shooting happened near the intersection of Cass Avenue and 20th Street at around 7 p.m. The shooting was picked up by Shot Spotter technology in the area. Police did not say what led up to the shooting. The investigation is ongoing. A man was wounded during an early morning shooting yesterday. The shooting happened at 7:15 a.m. near North Grand and Emily Street in the College Hill neighborhood. According to police, a man was boarding a Metro bus. He got caught in a crossfire between 2 vehicles. The man was shot in the stomach, was taken to a hospital. He was conscious and breathing. No additional information has been released. Emergency crews rescued a man after he dived into the Big River last night at Rockford Beach. The incident happened shortly before 7:15 p.m., according to the High Ridge Fire District. The man was transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The Missouri State Highway Patrol reported an accident in Franklin County at 5 o'clock yesterday morning on eastbound Highway T east of Powell's Point Road. A 2000 Yamaha V-Star motorcycle ridden by 40-year-old Derek M. Lawful of Labadie attempted to avoid a deer in the roadway. He caused the motorcycle to skid and overturn. 40-year-old Derek Lawful of Labadie had minor injuries. He was transported to Mercy Hospital in St. Louis by Merrimack Ambulance District. At 1:44 this morning in Franklin County, 40-year-old David L. Bell of St. Clair was arrested on Jefferson County warrant for failure to appear for passing a bad check. He was taken to the Franklin County Jail and was bondable. The Highway Patrol made an arrest in Washington County at 12:19 this morning. 25-year-old Robert C. Akers of Bellevue was arrested for a patrol charge of driving while intoxicated. He was taken to the Washington County Sheriff's Office in Potosi for a 12-hour hold. At 8:29 last night in Franklin County, 29-year-old Devin N. Strange of St. Clair was arrested on patrol charges of possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, 1 gram, Franklin County warrant for failure to appear 4 times, and she was taken to the Franklin County Jail and was bondable. At 8:21 p.m. yesterday in Phelps County, 50-year-old Tiffany A. Scott of St. Louis was arrested for felony DWI, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, failure to properly affix plates, possession of plates of another, no insurance, driving while revoked. She was taken to the Dent County Jail for a 12-hour hold. For workers at GM's Wentzville Assembly Plant in St. Charles County, masks are now mandatory across all shifts. In an effort to stay a step ahead of the virus, UAW Local 2250 has encouraged members to get vaccinated. While it's unclear how many people inside the Wentzville facility have been vaccinated, 48% of people in St. Charles County have had the vaccine. With the spread of the Delta variant across Missouri, both the UAW and GM wanted to make sure everyone stayed safe with a mandatory mask mandate. The Sullivan City Council passed a resolution Tuesday night to allow utility vehicles and recreational off-highway vehicles on city streets. All-terrain vehicles and golf carts are not allowed on city streets. For utility vehicles, the operator will need a valid operator's or chauffeur's license, and the vehicle shall be operated at speeds of less than 40 miles per hour. You need to maintain proof of financial responsibility in accordance with the resolutions of the state of Missouri, or maintain any other insurance policy providing equivalent liability coverage for a utility vehicle. You need to comply with all state laws. No person shall operate a utility vehicle in any careless way so as to endanger the person or property of another, or while under the influence of alcohol or any controlled substance. Recreational off-highway vehicles, or OHVs, are defined as any motorized vehicle manufactured and used exclusively for off-road use, which is more than 50 inches but no more than 80 inches in width, measured from outside of the tire rim to the outside of the other tire rim. You need to have a valid operator's or chauffeur's license, maintain proof of financial responsibility, must display a lighted headlamp and lighted tail lamp. You have to wear a seat belt. You need to have it equipped with a roll bar or roll cage and comply with all state laws. Motorized bicycles are defined as any 2- or 3-wheeled device having an automatic transmission and a motor with a cylinder capacity of not more than 50 cubic centimeters. It produces less than 3 gross brake horsepower and capable of propelling the device at a maximum speed of not more than 30 miles per hour on level ground. No person shall operate a motorized bicycle on any highway, streets, or roads in the city unless the person has a valid license to operate a motor vehicle. No motorized bicycle may be operated on any public thoroughfare located within the city that has been designated as part of the federal interstate highway system, and every person riding a bicycle or motorized bicycle upon a street or highway shall be granted all the rights and shall be subject to all the duties applicable to the driver of a vehicle as provided by the resolutions of the state of Missouri. The American Red Cross continues to experience a severe blood shortage, and donors of all blood types, especially type O, and those giving platelets, are urged to make an appointment to give now. There is a blood drive in Sullivan from 3 until 7 p.m. on Monday at St. Matthew Lutheran Church on Church Street in Sullivan. That is a look at your local news on a Thursday. I'm Sam Scott.
Psychologists, licensed professional counselors, and licensed clinical social workers, Compass Health Network is looking for you. The need is great in our communities, and we are currently hiring licensed staff to help us care for those that need us most. Compass Health Network offers a supportive environment of over 250 clinicians, excellent training, a competitive salary, and great benefits. Join us as we inspire hope and promote wellness. Visit careers.compasshealthnetwork.org and apply today.
Funeral notices are brought to you by the Eaton Funeral Homes of Sullivan and Bourbon. The symbol of the Eaton name reflects consideration and competence. Also quiet, unobtrusive friendliness and service without restraint. There is never a reason to settle for less than an Eaton service, particularly because it costs no more and very often less than appearances may lead you to believe. For help in the greatest time of need, call the Eaton Funeral Homes in Sullivan or Bourbon. 468-4147, a family tradition in service since 1948.
In recent funeral notices, Marie Cox, née Bailey of St. Clair, passed away Saturday at the age of 98. Survived by her daughter, Sherry Rethley, and husband, Dennis of Washington, a sister, Nancy Braun of St. Clair, 3 grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren. Funeral services will be held at 10 o'clock this morning at Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Burial will be in the Anaconda Cemetery. Visitation will be from 9 o'clock this morning until the time of services at 10 at Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Memorials may be made to the Alzheimer's Association or American Diabetes Association in the name of Marie Cox. Walter Warrand of Owensville passed away Thursday at the age of 85. He's survived by his son, Terry Warrand, and wife, Jennifer of Columbia. A memorial service will be held at 11 o'clock this morning at Zion Lutheran Church in Owensville. Cremains will be interred at St. John's Lutheran Cemetery at Charlotte with full military honors. Visitation will be held from 10 to 11 o'clock this morning, the time of services at Zion Lutheran Church in Owensville. Allie Lee Klepper, née Hendricks of St. Clair, passed away Sunday at the age of 84, survived by two daughters, Sandra Anderson of Londell and Susan Anderson, and husband Jeff of Bolivar. Two grandchildren, Jacob Anderson of Bolivar and Monica Beeson of O'Fallon. Funeral services for Allie Klepper will be held Friday at 11 a.m. at Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Burial will be in the Midlawn Memorial Gardens in Union. Visitation for Allie will be from 10 until 11 a.m. on Friday at Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Memorials may be made to the family of Allie Lee Klepper. Judith K. Jones, née Crump of Edgar Springs, passed away Tuesday at the age of 81. Survived by her sons, Gary and wife Jill Jones Jr. of Washington, D.C., Kevin and wife Charlene Jones of Edgar Springs, and Brian and wife Molly Jones of St. Charles. Two grandchildren, one great-grandchild, nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, many friends. Graveside services for Judith Jones will be held Friday at 11 a.m. at the Missouri Veterans Cemetery at Fort Leonard Wood. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be given to the Salvation Army in the name of Judith Jones. All arrangements under the direction of the Hudson Funeral Home of Cuba. Janet Marie Eckert, née Ransom of Steelville, passed away Wednesday at the age of 65. Survived by her husband, Stephen Max J. Hitler Eckert of Steelville, sons Jimmy and wife Sean Quinton of Steelville, Justin and wife Misty Eckert of Leesburg, and Michael Allen and wife Kayla Eckert Sr. of Cuba. Sisters Wanda and husband Bill Bogue of Cuba, and Patricia and husband Alan Brown of Steelville. Her brothers Steve and wife Linda Ransom of Steelville, Larry Ransom of Waynesville, Jeff and wife Sabrina Ransom of Potosi, and Dwayne Murph Ransom of Cook Station. 12 grandchildren, nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, many friends. Visitation for Janet Eckert will be from 5 until 6 p.m. on Friday at the Hudson Funeral Home in Steelville. Funeral services will immediately follow at 6 p.m. The family has chosen cremation as the final disposition. Memorials are suggested to the American Cancer Society in the name of Janet Eckert. Robert Bob Weimer of Sullivan passed away Saturday at the Missouri Veterans Home in St. James at the age of 90. Survived by his son Mark Weimer and wife Donna of Cuba, a daughter Sue Koch and husband Stan of Sullivan, 6 stepchildren, Carol Ann, Karen, Richard, Bill, Jerry, and Vincent, 7 grandchildren, many step-grandchildren and great-grandchildren, a special nephew, Dean Weimer, and wife Georgie, who was like a younger brother, and numerous other nieces and nephews. Funeral services for Bob Weimer will be Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Eaton Funeral Home in Sullivan. Bob will be buried in the Koch Family Cemetery. Visitation for Bob Weimer will be from 4 until 8 p.m. on Friday at the Eaton Funeral Home in Sullivan. Memorial contributions in Bob's memory may be made to the Outreach Ministry of Grace United Methodist Church in Sullivan. Ronald Kenneth Smith of Cook Station passed away Friday at the age of 81, survived by his wife, Janet Sue Reeple Smith, son Greg and wife Kitty Smith of Cook Station, daughters Stacy and husband Chris Brunner of Kansas City, and Katie and husband Brian Norley of St. Louis. 6 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, brother Timothy Smith of St. Louis, other relatives, cousins, many friends. Visitation for Ronald Smith will be from 1 until 2 p.m. on Saturday at First Presbyterian Church in Cuba. The Celebration of Life service will immediately follow at 2 p.m. Interment will be at the Carr Cemetery in Cook Station at a later date. In lieu of flowers, memorials are suggested to either St. Jude Children's Research Hospital or Shriners Hospital for Children in St. Louis in the name of Ronald Smith. Earl LaRon Vernat of St. Clair passed away Sunday at the age of 72, survived by his significant other, Elisha Beagle of St. Clair. Committal services will be held Wednesday at 10 a.m. at Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery in St. Louis. The family of Earl Vernot served by the Russell Colonial Funeral Home of St. Clair.
Funeral notices are brought to you by the Eaton Funeral Homes of Sullivan and Bourbon.
Push dirt and boundaries. Seidenstricker Nobe Partners has great financing, lease, and warranty options on our compact construction equipment. Right now, save up to $2,500 on a brand new John Deere compact track loader with a competitive trade-in. Looking for a partner you can trust? Our dedicated service and sales departments are waiting to help. Seidenstricker Nobe, your partner for the job site. snpartners.com.
Offer valid through 7/31/2021. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
What do you do when water doesn't flow? Low pressure, clicking sounds from the pressure tank, pump runs constantly? You contact Schrepfer Well Drilling, your water pro. Their knowledgeable staff is ready to handle whatever water issue you're experiencing. Schrepfer Well Drilling also handles a full line of water treatment equipment. Hard water, red water, sulfur, it can all be treated. Family owned and operated since 1953. They can repair your pump system and improve your water quality. Your family owned water company, Schrepfer Well Drilling.
Missouri Nut Sports, I'm Bill Pollock. The Royals completed the season sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers with a 6-3 win. Nicky Lopez broke a 3-3 tie in the top of the sixth with a 2-run double, and Brad Keller picked up his first win since early June. Royals are off today. They'll be home to take on the Detroit Tigers tomorrow night.
John, this ball club has really been something to come back from that loss last night.
Well, the way the Cardinals played last night with Adam Wainwright pitching 7 strong innings didn't figure in the decision, but he set the table from the starting standpoint. Harrison Bader had 3 big hits, doubled in a tying run. Dylan Carlson doubled in a go-ahead run. And even though the Cubs were able to take advantage of a hit by pitch and get a run in the 9th inning to tie the game, they couldn't score in the 10th because Edmundo Sosa, with runners at first and third, made a heads-up play, kicking second to start a double play, taking in a ground ball, then throwing to Yadier Molina to start a rundown, tagging Rizzo out at third. The Cubs didn't score. Then Yadier Molina drove in the winning run in the bottom of the 10th, beating Craig Kimbrough.
The pitching and the defense has been something. A great play by the Cardinal third baseman in the ball game. A heck of a play by the Cardinal center fielder to rob Cub of a home run. And we're on the air tonight at 5:20 with the pregame show.
Blues defenseman Vince Dunn picked up by the Seattle Kraken in the NHL expansion draft last night. Dunn was a second-round pick of the Blues in 2015 and set career highs in goals and assists during the Blues Stanley Cup run. Mizzou's Tyler Beatty named to the Doak Walker Award watch list for best running back in college football. Bill Pollock, Missouri Net Sports.
I really like the look of this year's Cardinals team, but there's another lineup that has never let me down. It's the lineup of stories that Cardinals Magazine delivers every single issue. If you want to get the most out of following the Cardinals, Cardinals Magazine brings it with the perfect mix of inside information and personal player stories. Start a subscription at cardinals.com/magazine or call 314-345-9000. Cardinals Magazine, it's all here.
Yeah. What's that noise?
Me. I don't know how to use my phone, so I think I use it and I'd mess it all up.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that's not a surprise to you, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I
right.
just wondered what you were doing.
Well, it was
there.
a headline. I was reading something about the storm shuts down 5 plants, so expect from 30-day delay to a year delay. And I don't know what kind of plants it were. So,
So it's coming up on 26 minutes past 8 o'clock, and looks like about 72 degrees here at the studios of KTUI.
You get a bonus 6 minutes this morning?
Something like that, yeah. So, home buyers.
Yes.
I'm
not one.
Yeah, you are. You bought a home.
Well, yeah.
You bought more than
you're
one.
not new one. Yeah, I bought more than one. That's true.
Yeah.
See, I bought 4, I think.
I'm still on my first one.
You got a long way to go to catch up.
Yeah. I'm probably not going to.
Probably not.
Well, unless I move to California.
Well, yeah, you can move out there. You can go out there and furnish your apartment. Mm-hmm. As long as you don't get real fancy stuff, you can furnish your apartment. Not have to worry about it.
Okay.
Furniture's under $1,000.
Well, that's true. As long as you just
under
shoplift it.
Yeah, under $1,000, you can just take that chair right out.
Is it really considered shoplifting though? If there's no consequences for it?
I guess not.
I mean, you can just go in and pick whatever you want.
Sure. I guess you get a hold of the sales guy and say, hey, look, I need this chair in mauve. I don't know what color mauve is, but that's the color Kathy uses. Can I get this chair in mauve, please? Well, we've got one over here. Oh, thank you. You go get that and you walk out the door. Where are you going?
I wonder if you can shoplift and get it delivered.
Oh, there's a thought. Yeah, there's an idea.
So I watch these videos on YouTube of, well, I think I was telling you yesterday, I think, about, AI and stuff like that. Now, and I think you've probably seen the pizza delivery vehicle, that's an AI.
Yep.
And I was looking at some of those other, vehicles of that type and things like that. So
that's the Pizza Hut guy, wasn't it?
I think it's Domino's.
Is it Domino's? He's got the little
avoid
critter?
the Noid.
Yeah, the Noid. Yeah, it used to be the Noid. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but as far as I know, I haven't seen any other. That was only they were deploying that thing in a certain subdivision in around Houston, Texas, or something like that. So I don't know if they've
just that one subdivision.
Yeah, they were just trying. Well, they were just trying it out. I don't know.
Yeah, but if it's raining, you got to go outside and get your pizza.
Well, yeah, I guess unless the
Noid's there to bring it into you.
That's true. Yeah. So home buyers opt for longer commutes. More house hunters are trading longer work commutes for lower home prices. New York City, San Francisco, and Los Angeles are among cities that have seen home prices rise faster in farther flung neighborhoods compared to those closer to business centers, according to a Zillow analyst. It's a sign that the appeal of being close to the workplace is waning as employees embrace remote work and come to expect more flexibility in their work schedules. Remote work has fired up demand for houses, pushing the supply of entry-level housing to a near 5-decade low, according to Freddie Mac research. Rent on single-family homes rose 6% in May from a year earlier, the fastest increase since at least 2005 per Bloomberg. I keep wondering about...
I did that, but I didn't move on for that reason. I moved just to get away from people.
And yet here you are.
I am with people.
I just wonder about all of these people who, own rental properties and they've not been able to evict people.
Yeah, how
are they paying their bills?
I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody, maybe it was you, I don't remember, said that that the people that are living in the rental properties, there's more of them that are voters than
the landlords.
That vote. But I'm not really sure that's true. I mean, maybe, but.
Well, you might have one guy owns 15 buildings, or one apartment complex got 30 buildings.
Yeah,
There's 30 people.
That's true. I don't know. But do they vote?
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I don't know.
Baby shower? No, it's a business shower. Special life events are meant to be celebrated, so why not work events? Surrounded by friends and family, some entrepreneurs, especially those in their 30s, have begun throwing themselves showers to celebrate work's big moments, such as starting a company, or even signing up to registries where guests can gift them money to help move the new venture along.
It's I don't know. I don't even know where to go with that one. I just leave it alone.
Well, some states have reached a $26 billion opioid settlement.
26B with a B, huh?
Yeah. Johnson & Johnson, along with America's 3 biggest drug distributors, have agreed to pay $26 billion to settle thousands of lawsuits related to the epidemic in opioid addiction. Attorneys general from states including Tennessee, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania announced the deal, which, if completed, could see communities getting funds next year to address the crisis. McKesson, Cardinal Health, and AmerisourceBergen also agreed Tuesday to pay New York up to $1.18 billion for their role in the crisis.
Because they didn't tell people they're addictive? Is that why they're being sued?
Well, I don't know. But, what gets me, though, is these attorneys that, specialize in, mesothelioma, or if you were, whatever it is, if you were sexually abused by the Boy Scouts, or, these attorneys, they pop up for we only do one thing and we do it very well, or whatever. And then, last year or the year before, I don't know, but, and this is because this, for whatever reason, this is the only drug that I can remember, but they had Truvada for PrEP or something like that for homosexuals to keep you from getting AIDS or something. And now they have, lawsuits.
If you
took this, and,
and this happened.
But I mean, it came out and it was the greatest thing. And now, now we're suing. So do people still take it?
Yeah.
Is it even still available? I don't.
Why did drug companies even come up with new drugs? And granted, I mean, they make a lot of money on them too.
Well, they must make a tremendous amount of money if they can afford to put up, a certain amount of money for class action lawsuits and things like that. I have no idea. I just think that we're at a weird time in
we are. It's
in
been
history, I guess.
Been going that way, heading in that direction for a long time.
So, bachelor degree bias hurts us.
It does?
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt me. I don't have one.
No, me either. 2/3 of Americans don't possess a college degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, almost 3/4 of jobs created from 2007 to 2016 require one, according to Census Bureau research. College degree discrimination, often for jobs that don't rely on higher education, has proliferated in the digital job search era as employers cut and paste work requirements and devise ways to screen an applicant surge. Yet, as Opportunity at Work's Byron August writes in his Washington Post editorial, the practice is harmful to everyone, especially in a post-pandemic recovery.
That's been going on for years.
Yeah, but
you got to have a college degree to have this job, and it doesn't matter. You can be just put it this way: they want you to dig ditches, but you have to have a mechanic, or you have to have a degree in anything. Just doesn't matter what it is, as long as you got a degree.
I think that's kind of changing, though.
You think it's going the other way?
Well,
it should.
I don't know if it's going the other way.
It should.
But I think it's changing because there's an awful lot of, East Central College, they have certificate programs and things like that where you can, you can go in for a year and be out with some certificate. They have, and they even merge things like, welding and plumbing or something like, things like that where, you can have a certificate that says that you know how to do HVAC and welding or something. That way somebody can hire you that maybe they're an HVAC person or something, but they need welding done or things like that. I mean, I think, well, at least I think East Central College, I assume other colleges are kind of rolling with the times and seeing what's, they're asking employers what they need and then trying to respond in that. And then the employers are, sometimes funding some of this stuff too. So I don't know.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, let's see. As workers are returning to their offices and students are heading back to schools, Zoom is looking to give users more reasons to video chat. Now it's entering the online gaming ring. As part of an expansion of apps, Zoom is offering multiplayer games on its platform, which could improve the dynamics of video calls. From company meetings to family meetups, new featured games include poker, icebreaker games, and the Ellen DeGeneres original Heads Up.
So, in other words, when you may have a Zoom call today with the Dairy Council.
Probably, yeah.
So that means when you say you're having a Zoom call, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be talking to her. You could be playing a game.
We could be.
Yes. Oh, boy.
Probably not.
Probably, but you could be.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was actually looking to see if she sent me a
link or an email.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I didn't see anything from her today.
Because we've never really officially met her.
Yeah.
She's always been on Zoom.
Yeah, the Kelsey Bentley.
Yeah.
So who was Aaron? Yeah.
McGraw. Yeah.
McGraw was let's see. Americans owed roughly $140 billion to collection agencies in unpaid medical bills last year.
That doesn't surprise me.
Nearly twice as much as was previously known. Medical debt is often higher in poorer neighborhoods, according to the paper, and is much less likely to be repaid since individuals often have other kinds of debt that may be a bigger priority. Meanwhile, healthcare has become the country's largest source of debt in collections, according to the New York Times.
Well, I got a bill, and I won't mention where it was from or anything else.
Okay.
But I received a bill, and it was for a copay.
Mm-hmm.
And on that bill, it stated uninsured patients receive a 40% discount right off the top.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
So
I don't know.
That means that basically if you're uninsured, the insurance companies that are out there now are us that are insured are paying for those that are uninsured by the 40% discount.
Sure.
Wouldn't you say that'd be about what that would mean? What that means?
Yes. So many years ago.
And I'm not saying people should be without health care. I'm not saying that at all.
So many years ago, my son went on a fishing trip, and he had a, breathing related something or other. So my wife told him to go to the nearest hospital, which I think was Cox South or something in Branson or whatever that. Anyway, so he went there, and he had my insurance card. I mean, family insurance. And so they gave him a breathing treatment, sent him on his way, and then he got a bill from them that said, although he had given them my insurance card, he got a bill and it said, well, you're not insured, so here's your bill, it's $600. So he didn't, he called me and said, so we looked, and apparently he had the previous year's insurance card.
Oh, okay.
And the only thing that was different
was the date.
And so we made a photocopy of my insurance card, and we wanted to email it to them, and they said, no, we don't do that. You have to fax it to us. Well, even at that time, fax was becoming an outdated mode of. Anyway, so we faxed it to them. So then in a week or so, he got a new bill, and it said, thank you for providing your insurance thing. So now your portion of the insurance, your deductible or whatever, is $800. So when he was uninsured,
it was $600.
It was $600. And his portion of the bill, now that he proved that he was insured,
is $800.
Was $800.
Boy.
So there is an amazing disconnect in our country for medical stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So American infrastructure. That's what the president keeps talking about.
Yes.
His infrastructure bill. But a lot of stuff that he contends is infrastructure. Most people don't think it's infrastructure. No. American infrastructure has been woefully neglected for decades and has been on the top of federal political agendas for about as long. A recent CNBC ranking looks at the best and worst states for quality of infrastructure, which looks at everything from quality of roads to drinking water to the reliability of the electric grid, while Illinois tops the rankings for infrastructure. Maine comes in dead last.
Illinois, they're saying, has the best infrastructure, and Maine has the worst?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So Maine came in dead last because they have a poor electrical grid, few air travel options, aging roads and bridges, and expensive internet.
This sounds like the United States.
Well,
not just necessarily Maine. It sounds like the whole country, basically.
So number 2, the second worst after Maine was Alaska. And I suspect that a lot of that has to do with geography.
Yeah, you have to pump sunlight up there.
Yeah. So Nevada ranked second on the list due to its reliable solar power and new roads after major infrastructure spending. Utah ranked 7th due to recent road work, broadband access, and refurbished airports.
Okay.
Arizona was tied for 8th for its recent funding for airport expansion and reliable power grid. Missouri was not in the top 10 or the bottom 10, so I think
square in the middle somewhere.
I think I looked the other day and we were like number 23, which, 23 or 25, I can't remember which, but and should we end 9 to 5?
You mean like work hours, 9 to 5?
Yeah.
Well, no, I've never done that.
I think, well, it says before you comment, we know that 9 to 5 hardly even exists anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
So why even mention it? It's more like 8 to 6 or 7 to 7, filled with calls, email, and a little bit of actual work. While pre-pandemic work habits for many had become untenable, there's a big word for you, untenable.
Yeah, it's a dandy.
The pandemic brought them to a new level, blending work and leisure with far too much ease. A guest essay in the New York Times argues that the crisis has given us a moment to reclaim our leisure and to try to find a new way of working that is both productive and allows us more control. I don't know about more leisure. I haven't felt that.
I haven't either. My more leisure is because I retired to get it.
Yeah, and then came back to work. With us.
Yeah, but I'm doing something I like to do. Makes a big difference when you can retire from your 9 to 5, as they used to call it, and still find something that you enjoy doing, and you can do it, and it's not work. Then that's fine. Then that's a different story. It's like Kathy retired, and now she's doing what she enjoys, taking care of me. Wrong.
Yeah. You're about to get a text message.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't got it yet.
Well.
A few things that happened in history on this date.
Okay.
1864, the Battle of Atlanta. This is one, if you don't like history, you'll never remember this. But there was the Battle of Atlanta.
Okay.
That's when Sherman, on his march to the sea,
all right,
defeated the Confederate troops under General Hood. There were 8,449 Confederate and 3,641 U.S. casualties. Now, the preface that was saying that those casualties are not all KIAs.
Mm-hmm.
You got wounded, you got missing, you got captured. All those are, but they're all considered casualties. But that's just a big number. I thought it was a really big number.
Yeah.
And this is, I never knew this. In 1933, Wiley Post completed a first solo round the world trip. Took 7 days and 19 hours.
I knew that. Yeah.
You didn't? I wasn't aware of that. And then on this day in 1934, outside Chicago's Biograph Theater, you know what happened there?
Yeah, the
Public Enemy number 1. John Dillinger was mortally shot by FBI. And then I guess there's a reason we've never heard of this. You ever heard of the movie Plan 9 from Outer Space?
No.
It's because in 1959, it was Ed Wood's cult classic. It was called one of the worst films ever.
Oh, okay. No, I never heard of it.
And then I didn't know this either. In 1975, the U.S. House of Representatives voted to restore citizenship to Robert E. Lee.
Huh. I'll be darned.
I guess, he denounced his citizenship when he went to Confederacy, and he just never reinstated it, I guess. Or he didn't sign the paper.
Okay.
But I didn't know that. Uh-oh. Ha-ha, she says. That's not too bad.
I'm going to let you read.
SBI Insurer. That's Kenny Scott.
Mm-hmm.
He can help you with all your insurance needs, personal, business, and life. He can package your home, renters, condo, autos, boats, motorcycles, umbrellas for additional discounts. Umbrella.
Put it up
Put
in
on
an
umbrella for discounts, yeah. It says that right there if I could read it. Is that part of my job description? Representing several companies rated A and A+ by AM Best, priced competitively on youthful drivers, education discounts, folks in the prime of life discounts, so there's discounts available too.
For you.
For me, because I'm in the prime of life. New roof discounts, paid in full discounts, claim-free discounts. Life happens. Let SBI Insure help your insurance needs. SBI Insure works with local business owners, property liability, autos, equipment, and work comp. Call Kenny, 314-623-2093. It's Kenny's cell phone. It's in his pocket. 314-623-2093 for SBI Insure.
All right.
That's the best I could do, Kenny. Hope you were listening.
That was better than me because...
couldn't have understood it.
Well...
you got anything you've been doing? You want birthdays?
Well, let's see. I had...
You had something there?
Yeah, I had a couple of things here, I think. On this date, in 2003...
Yes.
U.S. Army Private Jessica Lynch, a prisoner of war who was rescued from an Iraqi hospital, receives a hero's welcome when she returned to her hometown of Palestine, West Virginia.
Yep, I remember that.
The story of the 19-year-old supply clerk who was captured by Iraqi forces in March of 2003 gripped America. However, it was later revealed that some details of her dramatic capture and rescue might have been exaggerated.
No.
She was born April 26, 1983, and was part of the 507th Ordnance Maintenance Company from Fort Bliss, Texas. On March 23, 2003, just days after the U.S. invaded Iraq, she was riding in a supply convoy when her unit took a wrong turn. She was ambushed by Iraqi forces near Nasiriyah. 11 American soldiers died. 4 others beside Lynch were captured. She sustained multiple broken bones and other injuries when her vehicle crashed during the ambush. She was taken to an Iraqi hospital. On April 1st, she was rescued by U.S. Special Forces who raided the hospital where she was being held. They also recovered the bodies of 8 of Lynch's fellow soldiers. Lynch was taken to a military hospital in Germany for treatment. Then she returned to the United States. Her story garnered massive media attention and she became an overnight celebrity. Various reports emerged about Lynch's experience, with some news accounts indicating that even after Lynch was wounded during the ambush, she fought back against her captors. However, Lynch later stated that she'd been knocked unconscious after her vehicle crashed and couldn't even remember the details of what happened to her. She also said that she had not been mistreated by the staff at the Iraqi hospital, and they put up no resistance to her rescue. Critics and Lynch herself charged the U.S. government with embellishing her story to boost patriotism and to help promote the controversial Iraq War.
Mm-hmm.
In August of 2003, she received a medical honorable discharge. She collaborated on a book about her experience, I Am a Soldier 2, the Jessica Lynch story, which was released later that year. In April of 2007, she testified before Congress that she falsely had been portrayed as a little girl Rambo, and the U.S. military had hyped her story for propaganda reasons. According to Lynch, I am still confused as to why they chose to lie and tried to make me a legend when the real heroics of my fellow soldiers that day were, in fact, legendary. She added, the truth of war is not always easy to hear, but is always more heroic than the hype.
Yeah, she's got a good point.
Yep. So that was...
I remember that. Didn't they make a movie out of that?
Probably. I don't know. I didn't see it if they did, but...
yeah, but I think when I saw she was in a tent or something, they got her out of a tent. I don't remember. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't remember much.
Let's see. So, George Clinton...
Yes.
...was born on this date in 1941.
He was.
And on this date in 1963, the Beatles' first U.S. album introducing the Beatles was pressed by VJ Records, who thought they had obtained the legal rights from EMI affiliate Trans Global Records. When it was finally released in January of '64, Capitol Records hit VJ with an injunction against manufacturing, distributing, advertising, or otherwise disposing of records by the Beatles. After a trial, VJ was allowed to release any Beatles record that they had masters of in any form until October 15th of 1964. After that time, they no longer had the rights to issue any Beatles project. 1965, Mick Jagger, Brian Jones, and Bill Wyman from the Rolling Stones were each fined £5 at East Ham Magistrates Court in London after being found guilty of insulting behavior at a Romford Road service station. The three had all urinated against a wall after the service station attendant had refused them the use of the bathroom.
How much is £5? To put it on a scale.
Well, back then it was probably less than $5.
Yeah.
But now
Yeah,
it's
now
more than $5. Yeah. I don't know.
That's just nuts.
1967, Pink Floyd appeared at the Beach Ballroom on this date in Aberdeen, Scotland. The venue is home to one of Scotland's finest dance floors, famous for its bounce, which floats on fixed steel springs. During the 1960s, the Beatles in 1963, Small Faces, and Cream all appeared at the beach. And Aretha Franklin was arrested for causing a disturbance in a Detroit parking lot on this date in 1969.
Yep.
After posting $50 bail, she ran down a road sign while she was leaving the police station. Who did I see is playing Aretha Franklin in a movie? Was it?
I can't remember.
Is it Beyonce or something? Or,
no, I don't think so.
I can't remember. I saw somebody is going to be playing her in a movie. John Lennon and Yoko Ono spent the second day of filming on this date in 1971, filming the Imagine promotional film at their home in Tittenhurst Park, Ascot, England. Today's footage included the morning walk on the grounds through the mist and John Lennon singing Imagine in the White Room on his white piano.
Jennifer Hudson.
Oh, okay, Jennifer Hudson.
It's supposed to be in theaters only August 13th.
So in 1977 on this date, Stiff Records released My Aim Is True, the debut album from Elvis Costello in the UK. Musicians who were featured on the album were uncredited on the original release due to contractual difficulties, although the backing band was made up of members of the band Clover. And in 1979, Little Richard, now known as the Reverend Richard Penman, told his congregation about the evils of rock and roll music, declaring, "If God can save an old homosexual like me, he can save anybody." In 1996, Donovan was forced to postpone a comeback tour of the U.S. because of a 30-year-old marijuana conviction in the UK. American authorities delayed granting him a waiver to enter the country.
I remember that.
Yeah, so you got some birthdays?
I got a few on here.
All right.
This guy, John George Walker, born in 1822. He was a major general in the Confederate Army. The reason I bring this up, because he was born in Jefferson City, Missouri, and he was a Confederate general. 1890, Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy, the mom of JFK and Robert F. Kennedy, was born on this date in 1890 in Boston. She died in 1995. Dan Rowan, born in 1922, half of Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Great show.
Yeah.
He died in 1987. Bob Dole, Senator Bob Dole, born in 1923. He was born in Russell, Kansas. He was
go ahead.
He was a presidential candidate in 1996.
So, you've been to the Veterans Museum there in Branson?
Yes.
So they've got the 50 soldiers.
Yes.
Walking two abreast, and the representative from Kansas, because each one of them represents one of the 50 states.
Right.
And it's got their name at the bottom, and the representative from Kansas is Bob Dole.
Bob Dole, yep.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. That's true. Because he was born in Russell, Kansas. Orson Bean.
Orson Bean.
Yep. To Tell the Truth. He was the, commentator on To Tell the Truth. He was an actor and comedian, born in 1928, died in 2020. Sonny Liston.
Oh, boxer.
Great boxer. He was the heavyweight world champion, 62 to 64. He was born in Johnson Township, Arkansas, and he died in 1970. Lewis Fletcher. She was an actress, born in 1934. She was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Louise.
What did I say, Louis?
Yeah.
Louise, yeah.
She was Nurse Ratched.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a weird movie, though. It's just a strange movie. Uh-oh. The birthday. Well, you don't look a day over 31.
He is a day over 31.
1940. Alex Trebek.
Yeah.
The star of Jeopardy for years and years and years and years. And he died last year in 2020 of pancreatic cancer. Bobby Sherman. Remember Bobby Sherman?
Sure.
Here Comes the Bride. He was a pop singer, did Little Women. And paramedic also. Born in 1943.
He was a paramedic?
Paramedic.
I'll be darned.
He was born in Santa Monica, California. This guy here is just, to my opinion, is just a fantastic actor. Born in 1946, Danny Glover.
Oh, yeah.
Great actor.
I like Danny.
Lethal Weapon, which is probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
The Color Purple. He was also a human rights activist, born in Frisco.
The funniest thing is in one of those Lethal Weapon movies where he was sitting
on the toilet.
Sitting on the toilet.
Hilarious.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Don Henley.
From the Eagles.
From the Eagles, the drummer for the Eagles. Born in 1947. William Dafoe.
Willem.
Willem. W-I-L-E-M. Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe, yeah.
Platoon, Roadhouse 66, Mississippi Burning. Born in Wisconsin in 55. David Spade was in Tommy Boy. Black Sheep, born in Birmingham, Alabama, 1964. 65, Shawn Michaels. He was a pro wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And then Selena Gomez.
Yep.
She was Wizard of Waverly Place, Hotel Transylvania. She was also a singer, did Wolves and Lose You to Love Me.
Stars Dance.
Yep. And then I put this in there because it's just kind of neat. 2013.
Okay.
Prince George of Cambridge. He's the son of Prince William and Catherine, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, England. He's the third in line to the English throne. So to figure he needed to get a little press time, so he got it.
So did you decide where you're going to be Saturday?
No, I have not. I guess I know. I'm going to go eat breakfast.
There you go.
I'm going to be at the Sullivan Lies number 69 over there across from the post office. They've got their all-you-can-eat breakfast with the Masons from 7 to 11. If you're not sure, it's 39 West Main, right across from the post office, right next door to First Baptist Church in Sullivan. Go in there and eat breakfast with us. We're going to be there between 8:30 and 9. Come in and say hi. Say hi to Bob Martin. He'll be there taking your money as you come in the door. Breakfast consists of
scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs.
Sausage.
Yep.
Hash browns.
Yep.
Biscuits.
And gravy.
Well, I don't eat the gravy.
Yeah, I do.
Waffles.
And waffles. There you go.
That's what I go
Bob
for.
used to be the waffle maker, and he's kind of passed that off to another guy now. So.
Yeah. They have good waffles.
But that's from 7 to 11 Saturday.
And I think it's like Sunny D, but you think it's Tang.
I think it's Tang. I don't know what it is, but it's good, whatever it is. It's on the orange juice.
All right. We're coming up on 9 o'clock. We are AM 1560 KTUI Sullivan, 94.1 FM.
Are you sure?
I don't know. My voice is... it's 9 o'clock, and the for sale show is coming up in about 5.5 minutes. It's 75 degrees right now at the studios of KTUI.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
House Republicans walked away from the House committee that's investigating January 6th. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi vetoed 2 of the 5 Republicans. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy had tapped for the panel.
Pelosi has broken this institution, denying the voice of members who have served in the military.
Wyoming's Liz Cheney, the only Republican on the panel, agreed with Pelosi's decision. Oregon forest officials reported Wednesday the destructive Oregon bootleg fire that ranks as the largest among dozens raging across the western United States was ignited by lightning, but smoldered for days before it was detected. Strike teams are taking advantage of calmer winds, cooler temperatures, and slightly higher humidity over the past 2 days to extend containment lines around the fire. The Tokyo Olympic Organizing Committee has fired the director of the opening ceremony on Thursday because of a Holocaust joke he made during a comedy show in 1998. This is USA Radio News.
Hi, this is Wayne Allen Root from my great friends at Freedom Fest. Have you ever been to Mount Rushmore in South Dakota? Well, here's your opportunity. This July 21st through 24th, thousands of liberty lovers are headed to South Dakota for the greatest libertarian show on earth, Freedom Fest. This time held at the Rushmore Civic Center in Rapid City, South Dakota, with a record-setting crowd. Here's your chance to make new friends and meet the country's top political and business leaders, authors, and filmmakers in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Some of the star speakers this year: South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, Dr. Drew, Larry Elder, U.S. Senator Mike Lee, U.S. Senator Cynthia Loomis, the CEO of Whole Foods, John Mackey, Steve Moore, John Funn, Grover Norquist, Tom Woods, and the infamous pandemic mock trial. Go to freedomfest.com. Use promo code WAR50 to get $50 off the registration fee. That's freedomfest.com with promo code WAR50. Fly there, drive there, bike there, RV there, be there. Freedom Fest in South Dakota. Get your tickets now at freedomfest.com.
More athletes at the Tokyo Olympics test positive for COVID-19. Dan Naraki from the Ohio USA Radio News Bureau reports.
As competition gets underway at the Tokyo Olympics, there have been a rising number of positive COVID tests. Since July 1st, 75 people connected to the Games have tested positive, with several athletes having their Olympic experience ended by the virus. The most recent American beach volleyball player Taylor Crabb being forced out of the competition by a positive test. Cases in Tokyo have hit a 6-month high, and the entire city is under a state of emergency until after the Games. From the USA Radio News Ohio Bureau, I'm Dan Naraki.
With an Afghanistan withdrawal update, Tim Berg has more.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says the final withdrawal of U.S. forces from Afghanistan is on track for completion by the end of next month.
The president has made a decision that we're going to get it done, and we're going to get it done right.
Austin adding that your tax dollars will continue to support Afghan security forces.
Thanks for listening. We are USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go, and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
House Minority Leader Republican Kevin McCarthy expressed outrage at the Speaker, Democrat Nancy Pelosi, after she vetoed 2 of the 5 Republicans that were selected to sit on the January 6th committee.
They want to know the answer. The American people deserve that. They don't deserve politics. They don't deserve destroying the institution. No committee in Congress will work if one person is picking all who can serve. This has not happened before. House Democrats must answer this question. Why are you allowing a lame duck speaker to destroy this institution? This is the people's house, not Pelosi's house. We will do our job, though. We asked to do our job. We want to do our job. I may object to the people that she put on the committee, but I respect her right to do it, just as every leader has done before. Destroy an institution for your own political gain. America expects more and deserves more.
Pelosi claimed the rejected candidates are too close to President Trump. Film critics say Space Jam: A New Legacy, starring LeBron James, is one of the worst movies ever made. Space Jam cost $200 million to make and market and is expected to earn only $60 to $70 million without a release in China. China has yet to greenlight the film for release. I'm Lance Pry. This is USA Radio News.
From the KTUI WeatherBug Weather Center for this morning, expecting mostly clear skies, mostly sunny this afternoon, warm with a high near 90. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 66. Friday, sunny and warm, a high of 91. Friday night, mostly clear, a low of 71. Saturday, sunny and warm, a high of 93. Saturday night, mostly clear, a low of 73. On Sunday, sunny and warm, a high of 94. And Sunday night, partly cloudy, a low of 72. For KTUI, I'm Andrew Brady.
All right, thank you, Andrew. And let's see, it is time for the For Sale Show. If you have something to buy, sell, or trade, then you can give me a call here. And the phone number is 468-5101. And let's see, you can also send me a text message at 573-677-1001. And what else can you do? I guess you can send me an email at forsale@ktui.com. And let's see. I don't know. Usually I get an email from the Dairy Council, and so I'm not sure that's going to happen this morning, but we'll find out here. And I need to find my... nope, that's the wrong folder. Need to find my For Sale Show folder. That's what I'm looking for here. All right, let's go and see what we've got here already on the phone lines. And good morning, you're on the For Sale Show.
Good morning, Sam. Hey, I've got a tailor-made tilt trailer. It's 50 inches wide and 6 foot long. I made a bid on it and got it to haul my lawnmower, but it won't fit. So I need to sell it. And I got a $285 in it. That's what I want for it.
Okay.
It needs lights on it, but it's a nice little tilt trailer. And I live in Cuba, and my number is 573-578-9468, and I have the title for it.
Okay.
Anyone can make a good four-wheeler trailer, something like that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, there you go. He's got a tilt trailer, $285. That's what he's got in it. He lives in Cuba. 573-578-9468 is the number. And good morning. You're on the For Sale Show.
Good morning. I want to buy some fresh garden cucumbers to make pickles.
Okay.
So if anybody has any of those, if they can contact me, please. 573-732-4945.
What was the number again? 732 what?
4945.
4945. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Looking for some cucumbers to do some pickling. 573-732-4945. And, we're getting some phone calls in here this morning. Got a guy that's got a GE electric dryer, extra large capacity, in good condition. He's wanting $50 for it. He also has a Honda GCV 190 Husky power sprayer. It needs carburetor work, but he wants $50 for that too. 468-5023. 468-5023 is the number. Got a Summit Viper climbing tree stand. It was used once. They say it was worth paid about $300 for it. They're asking $150. They also have the original Chevelle bumpers off at 1966 Chevelle. They're in fair condition. Make an offer. And also have a fiberglass white folding table. It's 96 by 29, and they want $30 for it. 573-259-7232. As for the Chevelle bumpers, the tree stand, or the table, 573-259-7232. Also got somebody that's looking for they're looking for an electric wheelchair or a scooter that can be used in a care center, in good shape, no problems, and reasonably priced. They need one as soon as possible, and you can call 457-8505. That's 573-457-8505. They also have a couple of female blue heeler pups, about 9 weeks old now. They've had their first 2 shots. They've been wormed. And if you'd like more information, again, that same number, 457-8505, 573-457-8505, or leave a message and a phone number. And then we've got a pink dog crate for a 10 to 15 pound dog, $25. A pink dog carrier for a 10 to 15 pound dog, $25. And a big box of puzzles for $10. 468-4055 is the number for that. 573-468-4055. And then the last thing on my list of items this morning is Brother Color MFC 3360C printer. It prints, copies, scans, faxes, PC faxes, and it works with PCs and Macs. Still brand new in the factory sealed box, $49. And they've got some Be Safe hand sanitizer. It's the 60.8 fluid ounce pump top jug, close to a half gallon there. They want $6.50 for it. 636-744-4186. That's 636-744-4186. They are located in Sullivan. So, all right, that's it for my list of items here this morning on the For Sale Show. It's 11 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock. I've got 75 degrees here at the studios of KTUI. And we're going to be talking with Kelsey Bentledge from the Dairy Council, and we'll do that after you hear this from Jerry's TV.
Jerry's TV in Sullivan is a family-owned appliance, furniture, mattress, and electronics store. Jerry's has over 20,000 square feet of showroom with name brands of fine quality home furnishings at low prices. Jerry's TV's been serving the Sullivan and surrounding area since 1962. Jerry's has in-store financing, fast free delivery, free setup, and free removal. When you shop at Jerry's, you get discount store prices with service in every department. Shop local. Shop Jerry's TV, 375 West Springfield in Sullivan, because service matters.
All right, with me now from the Dairy Council is Kelsey Bentledge. And good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, surviving this summer heat that we're having.
So this is probably my favorite dairy month. What is it?
It's July ice cream
There we
month.
go, yes.
It's everyone's favorite month celebrating dairy.
Yes. So what's going on with dairy this month besides celebrating ice cream?
Well, we get to celebrate ice cream because way back in 1984, President Ronald Reagan designated July as National Ice Cream Month, which I think was a great plan for him, a great decision in my opinion. But actually this past Sunday on the 18th, the third Sunday of the month, was National Ice Cream Day on July 18th. So I don't know if anybody saw some local celebrations going on for that or any deals on ice cream you took advantage of. But in my opinion, ice cream is important all of the days of the year. The dairy industry generates more than $21 billion in annual sales in ice cream because we love ice cream in the United States. And about 9% of all the milk that is produced in the United States by dairy farmers is actually made into ice cream. So ice cream is a big deal and needs to be celebrated.
So, a lot of times when we talk about the health benefits of dairy products and stuff. Is ice cream healthy?
Well, it can fit into a healthy diet.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
it absolutely can. And it's actually the reason why President Ronald Reagan decided that it was National Ice Cream Month is because it's actually a fun and nutritious food. So it's one of the most nutritious desserts that are out there. But we do have to be conscious of our serving sizes. I am not great at doing a serving size of ice cream this much.
Yep, me
But
either.
a half of a cup or the size of a tennis ball is a serving size of ice cream. So making sure that we're not having too much at one time. And then there's also different options out there on the market. Like there's low fat ice cream, there's low sugar options, other frozen dairy desserts to make healthy choices around ice cream. But it like I said, ice cream is not only tastes great, but it has a little bit of a nutrient advantage over some of the other desserts because it's still dairy. So it contains that calcium and protein and phosphorus that we love that comes from our dairy foods. But this is a little bit of a random statistic, but the average American consumer consumes more than 23 pounds of ice cream in a year, which is fine as long as you don't consume it all at once.
Well, now if you put fruits or nuts on it, then it becomes more healthy, right?
Oh yes, we're adding more nutrients in there with the fruits and nuts, absolutely. But I know I added some. It's blackberry season, so I added some blackberries to my ice cream last week. It was quite delicious.
I like to add some ice cream to my blackberry cobbler.
That is also a good addition.
So, how much did you say of the dairy products are actually turned into ice cream?
9% of the milk produced in the U.S. is turned into ice cream. So that's that's a lot, especially considering how ice cream is made. Because whenever you make ice cream and you're in the mixing process, a lot of air actually gets added into ice cream. That's what gives it that creamy, melty texture that we all enjoy and love. But about 20 to 50% of the product is air at the end, and that's kind of the process of making ice cream. So 9% of all milk produced makes for even more ice cream because it increases in volume by the way that they make it. And another interesting fact about ice cream is the quality of ice cream, or the creaminess, really depends on the way that they make it and the ice crystals that are formed in the freezing process. So the faster it's whipped while it's freezing, the smaller the ice crystals, the creamier the texture. So that's how you can tell the difference between a really, really fancy ice cream and a little bit less expensive ice cream. They all taste good.
So what's the difference between ice cream and ice milk?
So there's lots of different ice creams out there on the market, but ice cream is made up of cream, sugar, flavorings like vanilla or chocolate, whatever we choose, and some stabilizers to kind of stabilize that mixture. Ice cream has to have at least 10% milk fat in it. So our milk that we get in the store, even if it's whole milk, that's about 3% milk fat. So it has to have 10% milk fat, so cream, to make it an actual ice cream. And then there's some other different types of ice cream out there on the market, like frozen custard. That one has to have egg yolks in it to make it technically a frozen custard. Then we have gelato, which is our Italian style ice cream, and sugar and sherbet. I almost said sugar because sherbet has more sugar and less fat in it. So that's a little bit of a difference there. And then we have our frozen yogurt too, which is another healthy ice cream alternative out there.
So are there, there's a cow there behind you that kind of looks like a butter brickle cow. Is that where butter
Is that your
brickle-
favorite flavor of ice cream?
Well, one of them, yeah. So.
That's an Ayrshire cow.
Oh, I
So
see.
that's one of the 7 dairy breeds that are out there. But I can tell you that the Ayrshire cow makes some really good ice cream because there's really good milk fat going on in an Ayrshire's milk.
So, what are some of the ways that you can celebrate Ice Cream Month?
So there's lots of different ways you can celebrate. One is just simply by eating ice cream, but also on our website we have a PDF on explaining how you can make ice cream at home without an ice cream maker. So we have it's called Ice Cream in a Bag, or Squeeze Freeze Ice Cream. It's really fun. I did it with my nieces and nephews a few weeks ago, and it's fun for kids to do. You just shake the bag, and it has rock salt and ice that chill it while you're shaking, and it makes delicious soft serve homemade ice cream. So that's a fun thing to do to celebrate Ice Cream Month with your kids this month as well. And that PDF also has some ice cream facts on it as well that you can share for your trivia knowledge, like some facts like the average dairy cow will produce enough milk in her lifetime to make more than 9,000 gallons of ice cream. 87% of Americans have ice cream in their freezer right now. I'm one of those 87%.
Me too.
For sure. The official term for brain freeze, I've practiced saying this because it's a really big word, but sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia. That is the word for a brain freeze. So just some interesting facts about ice cream on that PDF, as well as the Squeeze Freeze ice cream recipe as well.
So are there like recipes that like maybe use ice cream as one of the ingredients, or?
There definitely are, and we have several of those recipes on our website. We actually have a cake that you use a scoop of ice cream in the mix to make the cake. So if you're ever interested in ice cream recipes or any dairy-related recipes, head to our website at stldairycouncil.org. Endless amounts of recipes, but it's July Ice Cream Month, so make whatever you want with ice cream this month. You don't even have to feel bad about it.
All right. So tell us how people can find your website, your Facebook page, and things like that.
Awesome. So head to our website at stldairycouncil.org or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. The handle is STL Dairy Council. We are posting lots of things about July Ice Cream Month on there this month. So follow us on the social medias as well.
All right. Well, Kelsey, thank you for taking some time to talk with us, and we'll talk to you again next month then.
Thanks, and everybody enjoy your July Ice Cream Month and all the different flavors that you can possibly try.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. That is Kelsey Bentledge, and she is with the St. Louis Dairy Council. We do appreciate her taking some time for us this morning. It is 22 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock, and let's see. It looks like I've got 76 degrees here at the studios of KTUI. That's going to do it for me today. Again, if you were, a community note. Okay. Oh yeah, I've got that in the news. I think that there's a blood drive at St. Matthew's Monday, 2 to 6 p.m. You can sign up at redcross.org or just come on by and they'll work you in. Those of you that were listening yesterday, I guess, know that Bobby D had some medical problems and went over to the hospital. They are going to, I think they're, taking his gallbladder out today or something like that. So wouldn't hurt to say an extra prayer for Bobby today. Also say a prayer for the leadership of our country, the men and women who protect this great nation of ours, all the folks that work in healthcare, our first responders, and find a blood drive somewhere. I told you there's going to be one here in Sullivan on Monday. Sign the back of your driver's license, be an organ donor, and then I will be back with you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I think my voice is holding out. And Mike Gallagher is up next here on KTUI, so stay tuned.
Frame. For the best customer service and a free consultation, call 844-284-4860 or online at LoneStarTransfer.com.
Gallagher.
So you need all that information to go to a concert in New York, but God forbid voter ID. Give me a break.
Isn't that such a great point? But don't show your photo ID to go to a polling place. You got to do everything but let them give you a hernia exam at Radio City Music Hall. You got to provide all this documentation